Detective Carter, do you speak any English? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
All right, welcome everybody to Lions, Lies, and Billy Goats, episode 37. According to my camera setup, I'm Jeff, that's Robbie, that's Paul. Welcome to the show. We don't really have a solid outline today. I think we're just going to get into whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. But let's start off with the movies, Paul. How's the movie world? How's Minecraft going?
Minecraft's killing it, actually.
Yeah, place is packed.
Yeah, it's super packed. As
Are
far as
little
like,
kids wilding out and getting crazy in the theater?
I saw some. Did you guys see the thing online? I haven't seen anybody in our theater do that, but yeah, apparently that's the thing. What is it, like chicken something?
Oh, I don't know. I just saw that there was chaos in the like during the movie, which just pisses me off in general. Is I hate noise when I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, something where they're in a boxing ring and then Jack Black says like chicken something, and then apparently kids just throw their popcorn and drinks and everything up in the air.
Chicken Joe.
That if I
What's
get
wrong
hit
with
with a
that,
soda,
dude? That sounds like good old-fashioned family fun, dude.
if I get
I
hit with a
guess.
soda, I'll be pissed. I could deal with popcorn.
Oh no, they're not gonna throw soda. Are they throwing soda, dude?
I don't know. Maybe it was just popcorn. I just saw like
Probably
a
just popcorn.
short video clip of like a compilation of kids doing it.
I'd be
in theaters.
impressed if kids these days were throwing soda, dude. Because like my experience is, they're not trying to do any of that,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it's been doing well, review wise. I've heard that it kind of sucks, but who cares? It's kids. you know?
Really? Oh.
So
I've never played Minecraft. I know nothing about it. I know kids love it. This is not my. It's not one of those things I can relate to them on.
I think I've played some of the knockoff games that like spawned from the genre they made, like Valheim and shit like that. I'm pretty sure Valheim is like similar in a way, but not. It's not fully Minecraft.
Well, I know Minecraft is the most popular game in the world. At least it was at one time. I think it still is. And it spans multiple generations. So like we have, it's mostly kids that are in the theater, but we have like a lot of, people in their 20s that I guess grew up playing Minecraft, and they're coming to see the movies too, or the movie too. So yeah, business wise, has been pretty good.
Paul, you're a little low again. Turn yourself up for me. But I did watch a movie that I would recommend to you guys now that I found something I hadn't seen before that I enjoyed. It is called, I believe it's called The Last Stop in Yuma County.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul, if you want to bring up the picture, so I'm look up The Last Stop in Yuma County at it's the last stop. It's like the last gas station for 100 miles, so shit happens at this gas station.
I'm sorry, give me the name of the movie one more time.
The Last Stop at Yuma County, in Yuma County. It's got some of that like a dark comedy to it, so think kind of like it's almost kind of like has a U-turn feel. Remember U-turn?
Oh yeah, that movie's disturbing as hell. If anybody hasn't seen it,
this isn't that disturbing. It's like serious, but still not serious. Kind of funny, but not really like a comedy itself. I liked it. I suggest it. Recommend it. 2 thumbs up.
oh, there you go. Yeah, isn't Yuma like on the border of Arizona and Mexico, or is it Arizona and California?
Oh, all three. It's like
All
kind of
three?
Something like that. So it's kind of like U-turn, No Country for Old Men, and Grosse Point Blank all kind of rubbed into one.
No Country
Kind of
for Old
bunch of
Men.
friends
Is that the one with
college.
Daniel Day-Lewis with the
No,
milkshake?
that's
There Will Be Blood.
yeah, they were
Ah.
blood.
No Country for Old Men is the one with Javier Bardem where he's got like a mop top and he's out there killing people.
That's
with, like,
right,
A fucking
that's
cow
right.
prod or whatever.
You know what date is on this coin?
No?
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails.
And Josh Brolin is like the other
Yeah, the other guy.
plot part in it. I think Tommy Lee Jones is in that too.
Oh yeah, he's like the sheriff that's investigating the whole thing.
I don't think I've ever seen either of them, but I've heard that they're both
Oh,
really good
dude.
movies.
No
What?
Country for Old Men goes hard, bro. You gotta watch
Yeah,
that
man,
movie.
that's a solid movie to watch at least
Yeah,
once.
I didn't give a shit about There Will Be Blood. It was lame, but like No Country for Old Men was fucking awesome.
I just know the one
Everyone's
scene at the end because it usually shows up in like, top 10 greatest scenes ever videos and stuff like that.
what of No Country for Old Men?
No, no, there will be
Or
blood. With the milkshake scene in the bowling alley.
I drink your milkshake.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
That's what everybody's just like, oh my god, I can't believe how good his acting was. Like that's the whole movie is like his acting was so incredible, but like the story's like, I don't know, it's whatever.
Well, maybe
I
the
never-
story's lame, but Daniel Day-Lewis is probably the best actor. Period.
Whew,
I mean,
I don't know.
Is he
about
my
that.
favorite actor?
shit.
Let's go through his movies. I mean, is he my favorite actor? No. Is he absolutely fantastic? I mean, the guy's won more Academy Awards for Best Actor than any other actor. He's got
So-
4.
That shit is rigged, man. Black people aren't allowed to win that.
Fair. It very well might be rigged, but when you look at the films that he's won for, there's not really much of an argument. Here, let me pull them up.
Yeah, the only thing I can really think of is Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York, Last of the Mohicans. He was Lincoln.
Oh, that's right. He's in Last of the Mohicans. That's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Um,
Gangs
hang
of
on.
New York, solid movie.
While you're pulling that up, let's give a shout out to our number one fan, Tristan, who said she listens to every one of our shows, and I appreciate that, Tristan. Big ups to you.
Thank you, Tristan.
I saw them. I was up there 2 weekends ago to hang out with her and Fish. And I was trying to explain ADD and how I have it. And I was like, you got to watch, I can't describe it for shit. My wife's good at that. But I was like, you got to, and I'm like, just watch the YouTube or the Instagram people who talk about it all the time. I'm like, all this shit that they list, I have it. And she's like, her and Fish are like, you can't self-diagnose.
You know, I thought I had mono once for an entire year. Turned out I was just really bored.
I'm like, yeah, I get that shit. I have it. I've been diagnosed. I just can't explain it to you. So the best way to do it for me to explain it to you is have somebody else explain it to you. Plus, I had smoked and I wasn't really with it. And
That's
something
kinda
happened. Like I had I don't know if I stood up too quick or like whatever came over me, but all of a sudden I got like the cold hot flashes. I got all dizzy. I couldn't stand. I had to go like sit down. I had like half a panic attack out of nowhere.
Well,
After
I had-
smoking and having an ADD conversation.
I don't know if it was all in that order, but
I'm saying
yeah,
that was it was in that moment when you had this happen. Was
somewhere around there. Yeah,
yeah.
I think the conversation was over. We kind of moved on to something else, and like something just came over me, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I need to go sit down," but I think I just kind of mumbled the words. I don't think I actually said it. I remember Tristan's like, all the color went out of your face, and I had to go like sit down on the couch for like a few minutes, and then I had to like go outside in my t-shirt and let the cold like fucking get me back to neutral.
Yeah, that's not good.
But after that, I was fine. So yeah, that was the highlight of my day there. But anyway, thank you, Tristan, for listening to every one of our shows and suggesting it to people, which is
appreciate
really
that. Yeah,
Huge,
absolutely.
which is huge.
it's huge.
Cloud.
Paul, go to his video filmography thing.
Oh, on IMDb, yeah. It says I was trying to. I thought it was 4, but it says here he earned three Best Actor Academy Awards for My Left Foot, 1989, There Will Be Blood, 2007, and Abraham Lincoln in 20.
Oh, I watched
2020.
Lincoln. Lincoln was really good.
It
Actually.
is.
Dude, imagine winning an Academy Award for playing Abraham Lincoln, dude.
I saw it. The movie's. I don't know how accurate it is, and sure, it's a slow burn, but his performance is great.
The year, you don't have to go to IMDb to get his filmography. Wikipedia has it.
Yeah, I tried pulling
Well,
it up.
doesn't yeah. But
Oh
the
yeah, it was
year
down
that-
here. Yeah, I'm sorry.
The year that Lincoln came out is I remember because Michelle and I were dating. We went to a lot of the movies that year, and by coincidence, we'd actually seen like 4 of the 5 movies that got nominated for Movie of the Year. I know we saw Argo, Fuck Yourself, Django, Lincoln, and there was a couple more that we did. I just remember that one year I ended up seeing all the movies that got nominated.
Yeah, all those movies are
Django
good
was
too.
awesome.
Yeah, Django was cool. Argo was good too.
Yeah, I saw all of those.
You know, anything that Ben Affleck is in is automatically amazing.
Because
Jeff
of
loves Ben
fandoms?
Affleck. If you guys
Ben
didn't know,
Affleck's shit.
Is it because of fandoms, dude? Is that
He was the bomb in Phantoms.
But Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Word, bitch. Phantom's like a motherfucker. What's up now?
Yeah, I figured. It had something
Word,
to do with
bitch. Phantom's like a motherfucker.
that.
but like even if you look at his filmography, like look how selective he is, right? So like right now you got Pedro Pascal, you got Jenna Ortega. I'm sure there's 6 other, 7, 8, 20 other people we could name that once they do a movie and people like said role, Hollywood just puts them in everything, right? They like oversaturate the market with him. Look how selective he is. Been around since 1971. This is his filmography. I mean, I'm going to ignore his television appearances, but yeah, I mean, when you look at like the amount of work he's done, which is essentially minimal for somebody who's as big a star as he is and been around for that long, you know, versus the quality of what he's done, you know, versus somebody who's in literally everything and they really only have like 1 or 2 actually good roles or films that they're in.
Does he do like stage work or something in his spare time?
I think he does do like Broadway, or he used to back in the day. I don't know if he still does. I don't know what he does. I mean, his last movie was 2017. He has another one, Anemone, that hasn't been announced yet. His last television appearance is 1986.
Oh, there's his theater. There you go. There's your theater stuff.
Yeah.
Theater since 1989.
What does theater mean? Is that like Broadway?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
On or off, probably.
and then he's in a couple documentaries. And apparently,
he's in a documentary about himself called Daniel Day-Lewis, the Hollywood Genius.
well, they're probably interviewing him, I would
I'd be
imagine.
so fucking mad, dude. Like, yo, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hate these motherfuckers, dude.
Oh, well, you shouldn't like Hollywood. You're not wrong about that.
I also just don't give a shit about the profession of acting at all. It's just like, I don't know. I get it, but it's like dudes pretending to be things, like, you know, I don't know. When I was a kid, it was cool, but now I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, you know, let me just see some violence on the screen, dude. Let me see 300 every year over and over again. Just give me more of that.
This is Sparta!
Well, it's funny that you say that, right? Because I think me and Jeffrey had a conversation like many, many episodes back. I want to say it was like one of our first episodes, right? And like, if you're an actor, what is your profession? Like, what is your actual job, right? And if you're acting,
playing make-believe.
Bingo. You're pretending to be somebody or something that you're not, right?
Yeah, I was like 90% sure I could go Super Saiyan when I was a little kid, dude. I think if they had filmed me, I don't know.
Will we get sued if I insert Goku?
Yeah,
clip on
probably,
here?
dude.
If you
I don't know. I'm
guys
gonna try it.
I don't know if you guys actually watched the video I sent you of the podcast with the CIA knock on it. Did you guys end up watching it?
CIA knock? What do you mean?
CIA, a knock, NOC, and or NCO, non-commissioned officer, or non-official.
Like somebody who
officer.
works with the CIA but isn't in the CIA.
No. You're part of the CIA, but you're like the star if you die. No one knows your name. No one knows you're part of the CIA. So if you get killed, or it's all the plausible deniability shit. So like even the CIA doesn't know you're CIA except for like a handful of people. So this dude, his job was he ended up being a money launderer for the cartels. But first he got in through like a biker gang, and he was working overseas somewhere. So he was a criminal working in the big time criminal underworld as a CIA dude, you know, reporting to his superiors all the time, getting deeper and deeper into the game to give them more information or whatever. But they were talking about him playing the character, you know, and then they got into like method acting. You know, it's like, can you jump in and out of the person that you're pretending to be? And he was like, and that's just what made me think of it about acting, method acting. But you guys should check it out. It's I don't remember how to pronounce the guy's name. Tom Bellew, I think it's the Impact podcast. It's called.
So wait,
But
when
he-
you talk about method acting, you mean like jumping in and out, like he was having trouble going back to being himself?
No,
or what?
they were asking him, like, comparing it to method acting, and he was like, no.
Right.
Once he's like, when I'm working, I just stayed in the role all of the time, lived it, and did it, and then like it wasn't really a time to get out of it.
So
Like he didn't stop playing the role until like he got pulled out of whatever scenario he was in. But
so
it's really cool because he gets into all the crazy CIA shit and all the stuff that he was doing that he was allowed to talk about. But the reason he's allowed to talk about it is one of his operations, but not under him, or it might have been after him, somehow got released to the public. So then as a CIA, you're now allowed to talk about these things once a certain amount of information has been released to the general public. So he can nonchalantly get into what he was doing without, like, he never said the name of the motorcycle gang he was working for. He just said it was one of the big four, which is the Hells Angels, the Banditos, the Mongrels, and then worldwide, it might be the Outlaws, but I don't know if that's the fourth. But I know the Hells Angels and the Banditos are definitely two of the top four worldwide.
have you seen them yet, Rob?
Seen what?
Any of the biker gangs in Florida? Like I've seen like Hell's Angels and stuff. Have you seen them?
Bro, I wouldn't even notice, honestly. I'm
Oh.
extremely unobservant when I'm driving. I'm like lost. Like,
The Warlocks
you
are
know.
big in Florida too.
Warlocks too. Yeah, yeah.
I remember I was driving home from the Boogie. You know what the Boogie is? The Boogie's like it's like a hippie festival they have in
God.
Hancock, New York, every Memorial Day. But a bunch of our friends go to it every year. So the one year I went, and I was driving home. So I'm driving from Hancock, New York, which is like you got to go through Pennsylvania to get to it. And I'm driving home, and I'm fucking recovering from a weekend of just drinking and then smoking weed the entire time.
Debauchery.
And I remember I'm just kind of like, I'm in the fast lane. I'm just kind of like going at my pace. And then all of a sudden, like this double wide line of bikers just straight cuts me off. And I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? The last thing I want to do was be all hungover and bump into one of these fucking motherfuckers. Have them start kicking my car and doing whatever they do. But yeah, it was the Philly chapter of the Outlaws.
Yeah, you see a lot of that in Florida, you know, especially on Sundays because they're always out riding and stuff. Sometimes there's just 10, sometimes you'll see 50, sometimes 100 of them, you know, basically just swallow the entire highway. But
This was at least 50 side by side, 6 inches apart from each other, front to back, doing 85.
yeah,
And just, you know, taking over the highway and just down the side.
I've never had any issues with them. They're mostly really docile, you know, and most of the time I'm actually passing them because they're usually just cruising, you know. I don't know why the group you encountered was doing 85. It was in such a rush because usually they're kind of just chilling.
No,
You know,
they were out in full. They were flying the flag that day, showing force.
Oh, shit.
So,
Oh,
but
but
again, it was a Monday holiday. So what's Memorial Day is the first one, right? That's the
Labor Day, Memorial Day.
What kicks off the summer?
Memorial Day.
Okay, that was Memorial Day
Yeah,
weekend.
that's in May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Many
it's
days.
what were you saying, Rob? I'm sorry.
Nothing. I was just trying to figure out the holiday. I was just talking to myself.
The Boogie is a good time, man. It's just a big piece of property. It's got a river on it and a whole bunch of woods and like a farmhouse. And then you pull in, you park somewhere on the property, and then everyone just sets up their little campsites everywhere. Everybody's super fucking nice. And
Well, they're hippies.
yeah. But like, I mean, I was surprised how nice they were. Like, people weren't even stealing lighters; they're like giving them back to you and shit.
Yeah.
And it was a good time, man. It was a real good time.
I would totally go to I would totally go to a hippie festival. I get along really well with hippies. Rob says no. Oh, well, you
Whatever,
know.
man. Just hanging out in the woods, drinking. It was a little cold to go in the water, so I wasn't like swimming, but
Yeah.
So
You know?
you brought up method acting, and again, it goes right back into Daniel Day-Lewis because he's pretty famous for that. So is Marlon Brando, of course. But did you know in The Last of the Mohicans, right, before they actually shot it, before they were filming it, Daniel Day-Lewis went out and lived in the woods for like 2 months. Like if he couldn't kill it or catch it or cook it himself, he didn't eat it. Like
What
he
an
literally
asshole,
slept
dude.
out in the woods apparently for like 2 months. It's pretty
Dude.
wild. There was I think it was My Left Foot, the other one that he won the one of the awards for. I think he plays a handicapped person that's like a quadriplegic or like his left leg doesn't work or something like that. Something like that. But he actually refused to walk anywhere during the entire like premise of like they had to carry him upstairs and stuff, you know. So like
Yeah, they had to carry him. Could you imagine being one of the dudes that had to carry this perfectly able-bodied person upstairs? For
I
a
get
scene
it.
of acting? I'd be like, this motherfucker, dude. Like, I'm so tired of this guy, dude.
You're gonna
He
be
just
sending
made
me
the
a
movie
Christmas
already,
card,
bro.
right?
He's like, he's like British too, so he's like, I've really started to understand what it's
Yeah.
like, you know, and now this is gonna make everything different. The way I sit in my chair will be adjusted perfectly to account for everything. Like, dude, like, shut the fuck up. And then, like, the rest of us out here who have no idea what he's even doing are just watching the movie, like, oh yeah, it's a good movie. He was crippled in that movie. It was cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
When they were filming Saving Private Ryan, Steven Spielberg purposefully had like what's Matt Damon like treated better than the other characters and separate from the other characters, so they would have resentment towards him during
So the
filming.
cast
Oh,
would
yeah.
was
That's kind
resenting.
of funny though. I like that. That's
Yeah.
like group psychology shit. That's
And then I know when Oliver Stone filmed Splatoon, he filmed it in order, so when people died, they were gone, so you wouldn't see the actor anymore.
and he would take him out of the set.
Yeah, they'd be gone. You're done.
Yeah,
You're done
that's,
for
see,
home.
that shit's cool. I like that. That's cool.
Just to
But
yeah, like I know, like back to like Saving Private Ryan, like when they had to go through like their mini 2-week boot camp to like learn to be soldiers a little bit. Matt Damon didn't practice with them. He was
Yeah.
off somewhere else.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot. I've also heard, I don't know if this is true, but like Al Pacino, after he finished Scarface, apparently like he because again, being method actor, sometimes you kind of like psychologically get stuck in the character. Apparently 3 weeks later he was still talking like Tony Montana. You know, again, because just I can only imagine like pretending to be somebody for so long that like it actually now takes you time to like unbecome that person.
You
You know?
remember who you are, yeah.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of Tropic Thunder, man. You guys ever see Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
I actually saw that.
You
Oh,
never
man.
saw it? It's
You gotta
No.
watch Tropic Thunder, dude. They
it's
make fun of
okay.
that so hard,
It
dude.
has its moments, I think.
Oh, stop. Dude.
I know
This
it's
movie-
well liked. It's well liked.
Tell me Tom Cruise's part in that movie is not
Tom
one of the
Cruise's
funniest
part's funny
roles
as hell.
Oh, yeah,
ever.
that part.
Yo, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen that part a bunch of times.
Yo, dude, he
Yeah.
fucking kills it in that movie, bro. He's like talking to him about fucking getting an airplane for letting his friend die. And he's just like, let me get this straight, dude. You want me to fucking let my friend of 17 years die for a fucking airplane? And he's just like, yes, and a whole lot of money.
This is Last Horseman. Who is this?
This is Flaming Dragon!
Oh, okay. Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Like, dude, I saw behind the scenes things with that, and apparently when he took that role, he had one request, which was that his character had abnormally large hands. And like you don't notice it until you hear about it, but if you go back and watch, his character has gigantic fucking hands. He had to have big hands and he had to be able to dance. That's what he said. And yeah, dude, if you haven't seen that, Jeff, that's a good one, man. That one's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you should watch it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is very well liked. You know, people quote it all the time. But like I said, it does have its moments. Some of the scenes are pretty fucking funny.
What was I watching yesterday? I was watching like 10 things you didn't know about a movie, and they did. I was watching the one for Goodfellas, and I heard a bunch of that shit before, but what I didn't know is that I knew Scorsese's mother was in the film. She plays Nicky's mom. Not Nicky in that movie. He's Tommy's mom in that movie. But his father's in it too, and his father's the guy who puts too many onions in the sauce. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Two small onions.
I haven't seen
And then in the beginning scene when he walks into the Copacabana and he's introducing all the mobsters, and he's like Jimmy 2 times because I'll get the papers, And then he's like, there's Fat Andy, and Fat Andy in real life is one of the two mafia cops that got in trouble. Remember hearing that story?
Shit about it.
There's a good documentary out about it called like the 7-5 or like the 7-8, whatever district they worked out of or whatever precinct they worked out of. But the Fat Andy's in real life was a police detective, and him and his partner ended up working for Fat Andy's family because his uncle and his cousins and his father, they were all mobbed up.
So it was like some Donnie Brasco shit?
No, they weren't on the cover. He was a dirty cop. So they were doing hits and shit for the mob. And him and his partner are serving life right now.
Oh.
Like, look it up right now. Look up the two mafia cops from New York City. And there's a great documentary. It's on either Netflix or Prime or something right now, as I've already watched it.
Stephen Caracappa and Louis.
That's the other one.
And
Caracappa.
Louis Eppolito?
Yeah, I think that's him.
I didn't read the whole thing. I just read the headline.
He's the big one.
Yeah, it says these two guys, Stephen Caracappa and Louis Eppolito, were former New York City Police Department detectives who committed various illegal activities on behalf of the 5 families of the American Mafia.
They were part of the Lucchese's.
Yeah, it says Lucchese and Gambino.
Yeah, it's a famous story. It's the documentary is pretty good.
No shit. What was the name of the documentary?
It's the name of the precinct they work out.
I'm sure
of,
I'll find it here.
7-5.
Or no.
Anthony Gaspar Picasso, he was a boss, and he was actually a fun story about him. When he was hiding out from the law, he was on the lam. He was hiding in Bud Lake because that's where his girlfriend was, and they arrested him there.
Oh, no kidding. I met somebody in the movie theater last week from Bud Lake.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You just never know.
Small world.
Not the first person I've met outside of that state from Bud Lake either. I met some dude in Florida like fucking years ago, like probably 10, 15 years ago at this point. That was from Bud Lake. And I didn't believe him at first. And yeah, he knew all the same people we do. I won't mention any names, but yeah, I was like, okay, you are from Bud Lake. Yeah, I know that dude too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of
the
wild.
largest natural lake in New Jersey.
Yeah, he actually knew Daljeet. Remember Dal? Dal, rest in peace, Dal.
Yeah, Bud Lake's the largest natural lake because they haven't expanded it at all or dammed it or did whatever.
It's man-made.
That's what, man-made. No, not sorry. Natural lake.
It's not natural though. It's
Bud
man-made.
Lake is natural.
It is.
It's fed by a spring.
Oh,
like Lake Opakong isn't natural because they dammed it and did whatever.
I
to
knew
fill up
Lake
area.
Opakong was natural, but I didn't know.
It was not natural.
Not natural. A lot of Opakong is man-made.
Oh, I think maybe I had that backwards.
Yeah, so Bud Lake is a natural spring-fed lake, and technically it's the largest natural lake in New Jersey.
You know, after not living there for so long, you forgot shit. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know where that. I know the name of that road, but I don't remember where it is. Paul, you've been on it like 1,000 times. Yeah, and I know.
But I bet you can still get around if you went home.
Oh, of course. Well, I usually drive every time I come back. I think I picked you up last time.
Yeah, I've lived here for like 3 years, and I know where nothing is except
Where
for.
are you now? You're in.
I'm like just north of Philly.
Oh shit, dude.
I'm like near Jenkintown.
That's crazy. Finally made it over to where you belong, dude.
So
You've been excited about these Philly teams forever, man.
You know, I grew up a Philly fan. My family's from here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now you finally live over there, dude.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Does it feel right? Did it feel like something just clicked into place, dude, and you were just finally home, dude?
It was more fun when Michelle was at school because she went to school at Penn, which is in the heart of the city. So I went to see her, and I was actually walking around like the concrete jungle of the city. It was
Philly's a cool city.
Philly's cool.
Like
Like it really is a big sports town. Like when the Eagles lost on Sunday, like you felt how upset everybody was on Monday. Monday was just like a shitty day. You could like feel it.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever went out drinking, like to bars in my entire life was in Philly. I was like 17, and they served me everywhere. It was really weird. My friend was gonna go. What's the one college there? Is it Temple or something?
Yeah, Temple's there.
It was either Temple or St. Joe's or something like that. Like
Yeah,
he
Joe's.
got like a basketball scholarship to go play there. And so we were either 17 or 18, and we went to go visit him. Like he got to go there over the summer before the rest of us went away to school. And so we went over there. We all just had our licenses. I think I might have had Mike's ID that said that I was 28 years old and that it was expired from New Jersey at the time. And fucking, we went to a bunch of like Asian bars around in Philly and just did sake bombs all night, dude. And I was just like, what the fuck is this place, dude? So that was cool. That's my Philly memory.
Yeah, I stomped a lot around the Penn campus. My spot was Kavanaugh's, which is closed now, but it was a good spot, good sports bar.
Yeah.
Cheap
I have
James,
no idea where I went.
cheap Jameson shots, which I was a fan of.
Oh yeah, Jameson. Jameson's too smooth for me, but it's still good. I like it.
I started drinking that shit because of when I started watching The Wire. McNulty always drank Jameson, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try this," and it just became my shit for 20 years.
Yeah, I always drank it because of Mike, you know, because like, you know, he's my
Yeah, I
older
got it,
brother,
dude.
and
I
so
got
it was
him.
his favorite, so I was always drinking it. And then I don't know, at some point I started drinking Jim Beam, and I got used to the way it burns on the way down, and I started to miss it every time I drink Jameson. So I would just fucking went back to Jim Beam.
Jim Beam was
Continue to be a Jim Beam guy.
the Philly special when I used to drink near Penn
Oh,
for
really?
$5, and this is a while ago. So, but for $5, the Philly special was a 16-ounce PBR can and a shot of Jim Beam.
Oh, dude, for how much?
$5.
Oh, I'd be toasty. Yeah, that
And
sounds
there
good
was
to me.
this place called the Blarney Stone,
Oh, the
which was
Blarney
right by
Stone.
campus.
That's the one you're supposed to kiss, right? That's the mythical stone in Ireland or some shit.
I
Yeah,
think
but it
so,
wasn't
yeah.
like I wouldn't be kissing anything in that fucking place.
Oh yeah, dude. You're supposed to make a wish, and the only thing that would come true is fucking herpes, dude. That's it. Yeah, dude. That's
Yeah,
not what you had in mind, bro. When you were like, I want to be wealthy.
yeah, the Penn campus was like the Penn bars kind of suck, but the bars around Penn were okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's cool to live in a city and go and be, you know, do the whole fucking going out thing at some point, you know? Like I've been in there for Phoenix and Portland and, you know, loosely some other cities, but dude, some cities are just definitely more fun to hang out in than others. You know, like Phoenix has no character to its downtown. Like there's nothing to do. Like even if you go to the center where like the Suns play, like around that area, it's nothing but like just plain gray buildings that house like Fortune 500 companies, and that's it. That's all there is. There's dentist's office. It's
Phoenix
like,
is like also like so spread out and massive.
well, that's
like-
what I'm saying. There's no central. You have to go to like you have to go to like Scottsdale for that. But then in Scottsdale is you might as well be in like mini Orange County. Like everyone's like 50 on cocaine with fake tits, you know. So
Yeah. And maybe for those who don't know, like the whole like metropolitan area in Phoenix, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but it's really kind of like 5 cities like all like combined together. So the whole area is like
yeah, more or
massively
less.
huge. You have like Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, Tempe,
Mesa.
and then there's one other one I think, right?
Mesa.
Mesa. So it's
Yeah,
like
There's
they're
more, but
they're
yeah.
technically different cities, but like the metropolitan area of like this urban is just so huge.
Yeah, they're all called Phoenix, but they're not really. Like if you're in Tempe, you're in a college town. If you're in Scottsdale, you're in the aforementioned,
Yeah.
you know, plastic surgery area. If you're in Mesa, it's like a little bit more rundown and cheap, you know. And then Phoenix proper, like downtown Phoenix, like I said, is just nothing. There's just businesses. It's just like that's it. You go there. There's a train that goes through all of it. You get there, and there's nothing to fucking do there. There's not even like good food there. Like I mean, in some parts of Phoenix there are. You got to go sniff it out. But it's not like you just get like on a street that's got a line of bars and food and shit to do. Like that just doesn't happen in actual downtown Phoenix. That happens in Tempe, it happens in Scottsdale, but not in downtown Phoenix. So it sucks.
I just remember when I went there, like, you know, up in the plane, like looking down, like, holy shit, this area is huge.
Oh,
Is
it goes
this
on
all
for a while,
Phoenix? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not usually amazed by that because I've been in many planes, flew over many cities, and I was just amazed at like the amount of lights and how
Dude.
far they spanned.
One really cool thing about that though is it makes for some of the most fun highways in the world to drive on. Like if you ever see videos on YouTube of some dude in a Lamborghini doing like 160 miles an hour, like 9 times out of 10 he's driving in Phoenix, like on one of their highways.
Just like a
'Cause it's
straight
just fucking
shot.
flat, straight lines that just go on forever. Basically, it's so sick. So it's a fun place to drive. You know.
Where did we drive
Yeah,
through, Jeff? On the way here,
I lived-
it
I
wasn't
lived in DC
Phoenix.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going, Paul. Stay on Phoenix.
No, I was gonna say, what did we hit at the top of Arizona? Like, because I know we didn't drive through Phoenix on the way here, but we did go through Arizona. Didn't we go?
Flagstaff.
It might have. I think it was Flagstaff, or we
Was it
were like
northern-
semi
northern
close to it.
Yeah, you'd be 2 hours, 3 hours away from Phoenix.
Yeah. We didn't go down to Phoenix. We were on like the upper half of Arizona, but
We went to Albuquerque though.
we did go to
You made a wrong
Albuquerque.
turn in Albuquerque.
2 wrong
did you?
turns.
Yeah.
That's like a thing, dude. You did the Bugs
Yeah,
Bunny.
you should have made a left at Albuquerque.
That's insane, dude.
It's a Bugs Bunny thing.
Now
Yeah.
you guys can say you've done it, dude.
What a way for a duck to travel. Underground. Hey, wait a minute. Since when is Pismo Beach inside a cave?
I wonder, I just bet we should have turned left at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
What were you guys doing out there? You guys were on a road trip or something?
Yeah, I flew from Trenton to Tampa. Paul picked me up at the Tampa airport in his U-Haul, and we drove from Tampa to Vegas.
Oh, to move when you moved?
Yeah, this is like a year and a half ago, maybe something like that now.
Damn, okay.
It was fun, man. Like, I really like road tripping, so like,
Yeah.
some weird way, I actually rather enjoy it.
You guys get on each other's nerves at all, dude? I find that,
No,
that's the
not
hard
really.
part about road
Nah.
tripping, dude. Somebody eventually is just like, you motherfucker.
Nah, it was fine. I mean, it just sucks. I can't drive at night because I can't see. So Paul did like 95% of the driving.
Oh, that's pretty chill.
You chipped in though. I did need breaks here and there.
Yeah, just had to be at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, like half the fucking journey's Texas. Like just to like fucking
Yeah, dude.
Texas, bro.
Did you guys stop in Texas and do anything? Like have some
Well, we had to
barbecue or
stop
some
and
shit?
get gas.
Yeah,
Like,
we had no
Tiger?
time. We were really ended up being on the clock. We
Oh,
thought we
yeah.
had all the time in the world until we started moving.
Yeah. I just drove across the country like, I don't know, 2 years ago now, and I stopped in Colorado for a couple days. That was my only real stop. Colorado looks, cool place. Could live there probably.
I went to Colorado Springs once when your brothers.
Yeah, that's where I was. I went to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
My friend lives out there. It's a nice town. Very fitness oriented, Everybody's drinking fucking protein shakes and like running around jogging and stuff like that. You love to see it, dude. Nothing better than a healthy populace.
Yeah, it was probably like in 2001. It was after 9/11, I think. But we weren't 21 yet. I know that, and Fish was with us, so we didn't go to the bars anyway. So we went to Colorado Springs. Then we ended up driving up to Denver to see some kids that we were friends in high school with, and then we drove back. So basically, my whole trip was like one night in Colorado Springs, one night in Denver, and then another night in Colorado Springs.
Dude,
But then me and Fish missed 2 planes on our way home, which was fun.
that sucks, dude.
You got
There's
something to say?
something uniquely shitty about missing a plane, dude. That feeling of just like, I know I'm out $500 and there's nothing I can do about it. Because they fuck you. Like, they don't care at all that you missed your plane. I guess unless you get the insurance, but who gets the insurance?
I don't
dude?
think we thought about it back then.
Yeah. I don't know. Dude, I'm trying to think. Colorado Springs, the only thing I really did while I was out there was a cigar lounge I went to. Have you guys ever gone to a cigar lounge?
I went to a couple in DC.
Dude, I don't know what it is about those places, but those places are mad funny to me, dude. You show up, people have like smoking jackets that they wear so that they can leave, because like the smoke clings to like whatever your outer layer is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into your house and you don't want to like immediately take a shower or whatever. So motherfuckers have like smoking jackets. And like, dude, there's a whole cigar culture around like cigar lounges that I think is hella funny, dude.
The only reason I went to one was I was still smoking cigarettes at the time. I could smoke cigarettes in there.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't even think about that. Cigarettes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I imagine if you're a cigarette smoker, it kind of sucks that you can't smoke indoors anywhere now, right?
It at first it pissed me off, but then I kind of liked it. It's kind of nice to take a break and get outside real quick.
Dude, I just hate that it kills you because they smell really like I've never been a cigarette smoker, but I've always liked the smell of cigarettes, which I guess is not normal. Most people hate the smell.
I like it. I like the fresh.
I think anything anybody is smoking smells good, dude. If they're smoking weed, it smells good. If it's cigarettes, it smells good. If it's cigars, it smells good. It all smells good. But I don't know. I don't like that at all. Like kills you though. That part kind of sucks.
Yeah, That's the I miss smoking cigarettes. Though.
Sounds like a big pharma commercial, right? Oh, we'll cure your condition, but
Yeah.
you know, might cause
But
potential
we're gonna
death.
kill you also. Yeah.
Might kill
You're
you,
gonna go
but
blind in one
don't worry
eye,
about
but your fucking, your toe's gonna stop hurting.
yeah. Yeah, we'll help you with your diabetes, but also may cause vomiting, nausea, paranoia, and potential death.
Dude,
Suicidal
that
thoughts.
reminds me of that Cat Williams fucking bit where he does about steroids. Have you ever heard that, dude?
No.
He just goes, "Oh, dude, steroids? You're telling me that it makes you fucking jacked and like a superhuman?" He's like, "Sign me up, dude. What are the side effects?" And they're like, "It makes your dick little." And he's just like, "It makes your dick little, dude." He's like, "That's not a side effect, bro. That's from Satan." Like, yeah, that shit's funny. That really is like I like how fast they try to rattle off that shit too at the end of the commercial to like sneak it in there, like as
Yeah.
jam as many.
Oh yeah.
And then they put it in like the small fine print at the bottom that you can't possibly read in time before the commercial's over.
Dude, you know those guys that do that are training, dude. You know they're in front of a mirror with their fucking with the lines like at least like a week ahead of time, just seeing how fast they can get through that shit. They
I thought
probably
that-
speed it up too.
Yeah, I
but,
said, don't they just record it and speed it up?
Probably.
Yeah.
Or they hire like that Micro Machine guy when we were kids, like an auctioneer.
This is the Micro Machine Man presenting the most midget miniature motorcade of Micro Machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trim, precision paint jobs, plus incredible Micro Machine pocket playsets. There's a police station, fire station, restaurant, service station, and more. Perfect pocket portables to take any place. And there are many miniature playsets to play with, and each one comes with its own special edition Micro Machine vehicle and fun, fantastic features that miraculously move. Raise the boat lift at the airport marina, man the gun turret at the army base, clean your car at the car wash, raise the toll bridge. And these playsets fit together to form a Micro Machine world. Micro Machine pocket playsets, so tremendously tiny, so perfectly precise, so dazzlingly detailed, you'll want to pocket them all. Micro Machines and Micro Machine pocket playsets sold separately from Galoob. The smaller they are, the better they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People can do that shit, man. That's not
Sure.
a joke, dude. You know, like fucking some rappers do that. You know.
Auctioneers.
That's true. Yeah.
Who's that one
auctioneers
rapper
as
that
well.
fucking raps super fast? Is it Busta Rhymes?
Twista.
Yeah.
That guy too. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a couple.
Who did you say, Jeff?
Twista.
Twista too. Yeah. Busta Rhymes definitely raps really fast.
Yeah.
I saw him live
at
once.
times.
I saw him live a couple years ago. He can still do it.
Yeah. So did I.
Pretty sick.
Oh yeah, you saw the same concert I did. I just saw
Yeah,
that.
we just didn't get Meth and Redman, unfortunately, but I saw the
I
same.
don't think I've ever been to a rap concert. Now that I think about it. Not
Well,
once.
one of the few concerts I actually went to in my life was with you, Rob. I went to Disturbed.
I've never seen Disturbed in my life.
Yes, you have. You, me, your brother, and your friend Tanner.
We went to Slipknot.
No, it was Disturbed. In Giant Stadium. You, me, your brother.
I didn't go in Giant Stadium. We went to the fucking Izod Center or whatever.
Was it the Izod Center?
We went to the Izod Center before it was the Izod Center, whatever the fuck it was called, and it was Slipknot. It was Slipknot, Lamb of God, and Shadows Fall.
I could have sworn it was Disturbed for some reason.
I wish. I fucking love Disturbed. I would have remembered that.
I like
Trust.
Shadows.
I know. I know. I was so
Shadows Fall is awesome. Light That Blinds goes hard.
I was so bored, and your mom was so like against me and Farley. She said, make sure you guys don't bring any weed for them. So we didn't, and then you guys didn't have any.
Yeah.
And then Mike couldn't drink because he was driving. So I ended up with like a couple of beers. And I remember I fell asleep in the concert. I was so fucking bored.
Yeah, I was in like 7th grade. I was like I was very young, you know. I had a great time. I remember it. I had a good
Yeah,
time.
I remember your buddy Tanner was with us.
Yeah, no, it was Tamer with M's.
Oh, okay.
He's an Egyptian fella. Yeah. So that's why he had the cool name.
All these years I've been saying it's Disturbed. And apparently it was
Yeah.
not Disturbed.
See, I mean, you fell asleep, so like, you know, how invested were you in what
I
concert?
don't know, man. I slept through the whole thing.
Dude, it was sick to me, man. I think that was my first concert. Honestly, I don't think I'd gone to see. Like, I think my parents took me to see like Sheryl Crow or some shit like that when I was a children, but not fucking anything I was interested in.
When you
I
were
like-
a children.
Yeah, when I was a young children.
When I was young, my sister and her like best friend wanted to go see New Kids on the Block, but they couldn't go without an adult. So me and my dad went with my sister and her friend to go see New Kids on the Block. I remember nothing of that. I was that young.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know anything that New Kids on the Block ever did. I remember they were like a prominent young
They
boy
were just
band.
in sync before NSYNC.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Dude,
Dude,
since
same
then,
manager, too. The same guy, the corrupt manager who took advantage of them all. He put the boy band thing, like the boy
Was it
band.
Tommy Mottola or somebody else?
oh, there was like a scandal. There's
No,
always
not a scandal, but just
No,
like
it's the
they were
music
the
industry,
first
man.
ones. It's the
It's all
same
fucked up.
dude. It's the same dude who built New Kids on the Block, built NSYNC, and
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, Backstreet Boys.
And
that
possibly
guy. So
maybe Boys to Men as well.
no, not Boys to Men.
No,
Wrong,
they were
wrong
somebody
genre.
else.
A weird profession,
The
dude,
five
specializing in
the
boy
five
bands.
kids who can sing and dance. Well, like the manager, like he took advantage of them. Made like him and the company made dumb amounts of money. These guys make pennies.
You know,
Seems to be
capitalism.
the way of things.
Yeah,
The
sure.
guy looks like
Why not, right?
he looks like if he was going to be played in a movie that Philip Seymour Hoffman, when he's heavy, would play. Looks just like that fat Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, so that was Slipknot, and then you said you haven't been to many concerts since then. You're not a concert guy.
Nah, I've been to 100 and 200 sporting events. We just didn't go to concerts. It's just not what we did.
I ended up going to quite a few. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum with sports. I've been to like a handful of sporting events, but I've been to like, I don't know, like a solid 20 concerts, mostly metal. Like when I was living out in Arizona, they had two really dope places to go see like metal bands, and I was in there. Like if you like metal, PJ,
I do.
I saw fucking Parkway Drive, Volumes, August Burns Red, Bless the Fall, like a whole lot of sick band, and Under Oath I think was out there. I don't know. They had like a place called the Nile Theater in Mesa, if you've ever been out there, and it's like a little warehouse. And going to see one of those bands in like a little warehouse place is pretty sick. I don't mosh or anything like that. I'm not a fan, but I like to sit in the back and watch people do it. Just kind of enjoy the music.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy to me. It's like, yeah, let's run at each other full speed because music's playing in the background. I just can't help myself. Like,
Yeah, I've never been a
understood
fan
that
of the
shit,
mosh
dude.
pit ever.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna fight somebody, I want to see who I'm fighting. I don't want to be hit with an elbow from this side and kicked
Oh
in
yeah,
the face
no,
from
they're
this
fucking
side.
dude. Motherfuckers will go in there and like flail too. Like
Yeah.
some dudes are just like, ah, you're like, what are you doing, bro? Like,
Yeah, we got into the pit. Me, Fish, and Petzinger got into the pit at we went to Ozfest at PNC.
Oh, that's right.
that
I
was
was with you
probably
guys
dope.
for that.
Ozfest
Yeah,
is
it
cool.
was. It's funny because Rob. I remember like three of the bands: Ozzy, Rob Zombie, and System.
Those were the three big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it was right when what was the name of that album that was we used to listen to all the time, Paul? With Thunder Kiss 65 on it.
Oh,
By which band?
Rob Zombie.
fuck. It's a wild name too. Hang on. Let me
Yeah.
look it up.
So like that. So it was in the heyday of that. System was out with like Chop Suey and all that stuff was out.
Toxicity.
Yeah, Toxicity.
Yeah,
So,
Toxicity. It just came out. Yeah.
yeah, so we had Rob Zombie, then System, and then Ozzy came on, but it was during the Perry Mason years, so like Ozzy really wasn't like fucking rocking it, you know what I mean? So we left during Ozzy because like it was such a downer based on the two bands before that got us so hyped up. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. La
Sexorcisto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Good
was
one.
a good volume one.
Yeah, it's good.
Dude, I don't know if it was an Ozzy documentary or if it was a Motley Crue documentary that talked about Ozzy, but have you guys heard of this? It was I think okay, so it was either an Ozzy documentary or a Motley Crue documentary, but they were interviewing the Motley Crue band members. And I guess they spent a ton of time like traveling and touring with Ozzy and partying with him. And like the stories they're telling, and every single one of them is unanimously agreeing. They're like, yo, he was the sickest motherfucker that's ever walked this earth. Like the shit that he was doing at hotels, he was just ungodly. Like he was just the biggest piece of shit that I've ever seen in my life, but it was awesome. And it was like I thought I could party, and then I would see what this guy was doing, and it's like apparently it's wild. Like he was just infamous for just absolutely destroying every hotel they stayed at, just being the biggest piece of shit on the planet basically. And then like apparently it was like, also like there was like an aspect of hazing to it where like the new band members they would have to try to keep up with Ozzy basically, and you could end up dying.
I don't think they call him the Prince of Darkness for nothing, but
dude,
yeah, you probably got to earn that title, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like you guys have all fucked around. You've had drugs and alcohol and stuff, and like if you look at like these people, like to me, like you look at like Ozzy or like a Hunter S. Thompson or these dudes who are really like taking it to the next level. That shit's always just blown my mind because you can kind of like understand what they're gonna be, what that entails. If you've had a taste, you know what I mean. And it's just like so when you read about like Hunter S. Thompson and them, it's like, dude, I can't imagine just like going full speed, being like turned up to 11 at all times for like fucking 5 years straight. Like that's got to just be so insane.
Like drinking, shrooming, and then blowing coke nonstop for like 3 weeks. That's just fucking crazy.
If I was a rock star, I would not be here right now. I never would have made it out of my 20s. I absolutely would have OD'd. Guaranteed.
Yeah. You would have to have handlers, dude. That's always been my favorite concept is that somebody needs a handler. Like they need to hire
Nobody
people
would
to
have
go
been
keep track of
handling
you.
me. I was just so like stubborn and don't fucking tell me what to do. I mean, I still don't like being told what to do. So yeah, I'd definitely be dead.
There's it's not a document. It's like a documentary movie. You ever watched The Dirt? It's about Motley Crue.
Nah.
It was a Netflix movie. Came out a few years ago. Machine Gun Kelly plays Tommy Lee, the drummer.
Okay.
He actually does a really good job. But yeah, the movie's cool. It's about Motley Crue, obviously, and like the formation of their band. But Vince Neil, who was the singer for Motley Crue, he got behind the wheel with another band, with the lead singer of another band, like Red Dog or something. I forget the name of the band. But and they got into like an accident, like totaled his Ferrari, and he lives, and the other dude died.
Oh.
That's fun.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's plenty of stories of rockers doing all types of crazy shit, throwing TVs out the windows, and
it's almost like kind of expected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like
I was just commenting on like imagining consuming that many things that often for that long of a period.
Oh, that would have been me. I'd have been waking up every morning in a bowl of cocaine. Like.
Like spring break was enough for me. Like in college, like I would come back from spring break and I would need like 2 or 3 days to like get back to normal.
Yeah,
and I can't imagine doing that for like 5 years straight. Like it has to take years off your life, dude. Like like you hear how Ozzy talks now, bro.
Dude can still sing. He can't
look
talk,
at
but he
Axl
can
Rose.
sing.
Axl Rose looks like Mrs. Fratelli from the fucking Goonies now.
Yeah, that's mad funny.
Especially during that time period, like
dude, I went to the town that movie was filmed in. It was actually dope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Astoria. It's
Astoria.
in Oregon. They filmed Free Willy there too.
They're making a Goonies too. It's happening.
Of course they are. Of course they just can't leave anything to fuck alone.
What I saw,
God damn it, dude.
the thing that I had seen, it was an interview with all of them, all the kids.
Yeah.
And they're like the reason that there wasn't a second one is because who directed that movie? Do you remember?
Steven Spielberg, right?
So Spielberg was never about it.
I think so.
And then now he is, and he's like, I'll only do it with everybody who's involved. So so it was.
I wonder what he wants to buy, dude.
The interview was Corey Haim,
Richard Donner
Photo,
directed.
Josh Brolin, the one, not Andy, the other girl.
Oh yeah, nobody remembers her though.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of movies though. So I think. Yeah, but all the kids are back, and that's why they're going to do it because Spielberg is finally about.
Oh, dude, yeah, fucking Kei Kwan. He's like got a whole new career going for himself right now. Like he keeps winning Academy Awards and shit or something.
Like, how are you gonna bring the kids back? They're all like fucking 50. Like.
Yeah, and Corey Feldman is the same as he used to be.
Yo, Corey Feldman looks like a toad now, dude. He's
Well,
he looks wild.
I think we all used to, or at least I used to poke fun of Corey Feldman, and then I learned a little bit of things about Hollywood, and
Well, he got like
Yeah.
a lesson and
I get
shit.
it now. I understand.
Yeah. He got the child actor.
You know?
Justin Bieber,
then-
Corey Feldman,
the-
like all of those people that grew up in the spotlight.
And then my other good movie news is that they're making Young Guns 3.
I don't know that one. What's Young Guns?
Is it Old Guns 3 or Young Guns 3?
Young Guns 1 and 2 are fucking both phenomenal.
I know. I'm just saying, how old are those actors now? You know?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's the 3 actors that have signed on for it are. I think Emilio Estevez is directing it.
Isn't that a Sheen? That's a Sheen.
Yeah, he's a Sheen, yeah.
Which Sheen is that, dude?
Isn't he
It's
like
the one who's not Charlie?
Martin?
Martin
No,
is the
Martin-
father, right?
Emilio Estevez.
Oh, he didn't change his name at all. He's just an Estevez. He never
Yeah,
fucked around.
he's Gordon Bombay.
Interesting.
Yeah, but isn't Emilio's father Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's Charlie's brother.
Correct.
You have like half brother, I think, right? Don't they have a different mom?
Something like that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't be seeing it like
And,
that, but just to clarify.
Christian Slater is back in it.
Oh,
And so is Lou Diamond Phillips. But Lou Diamond Phillips technically dies in the second one because there's a scene where he gets shot and they're sitting like in this bar. And Billy the Kid, who's Emilio Estevez, looks at him and he says, he sees that he's shot. And he's like, a man dies from a gut shot like that. And then the movie ends soon after that. But
I mean, if they can bring Palpatine back, they can bring him back, right?
Robbie, you're missing out. They're both really good movies.
They brought Palpatine back, man. Yeah. I'll have to give him a watch, dude. You know what else they're making, though, is Rush Hour 4.
Chris Tucker's coming back? Where is Chris
Yeah.
Tucker?
He discovered God and stopped making money because it's like not good for God or something. One of those deals.
Yeah, he was out of the game for a minute. He was at one time. He was one of the top 5 highest paid actors.
Dude,
I heard he's on the list. I don't
Rush
know if
Hour
that's
2
true.
is the greatest movie that's ever been made in human history, so it makes sense to me.
Rush Hour is
he would be.
fucking
I
awesome.
like the Rush Hour movie.
Rush Hour 2 is my favorite movie of all time. And
Rush Hour 2
one
is
of my
good
favorite
too.
lines from that, and I still use it to this day, is when they ask what the name of the boat is. I'm like, the SS
the SS Minnow Johnson, bro. Yeah, dude.
What's it called? Your yacht. The SS Minnow Johnson.
The SS Minnow Johnson.
Yeah.
Funny, the name on the back was the Red Dragon.
The Red Dragon. Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sure. Because this is my friend's yacht.
Your friend's yacht?
And this is his party.
I must have got on the wrong yacht.
Yeah. Is this your shit? This is my shit.
SS Minnow Johnson.
SS Minnow Johnson.
Well, I'm going to litter this episode with Rush Hour clips now. So
Oh my god, bro, there's so many, dude. And then the outtakes are all gold too. Have you ever seen the outtakes where they're having Jackie Chan say all the different types of pornos that he likes, dude?
Yep.
And he doesn't understand what he's saying, dude. He's like, I like the one with a locker room scene. And they're like, what the fuck, Jackie? What do you? I like the one with a horse in it. And they're like, yo, he's like, I don't know. Brett Ratner tell me to say it.
yeah, the outtakes are awesome.
Oh, they're all
he's
so
not going to be
funny,
in the
dude.
sequel.
Yeah, he
They're
won't be like
fantastic.
He's not gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
Damn! He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
Yeah, dude. I fucking love those movies, man.
Which one of y'all kicked me?
Me.
You don't know who you messing with. We'll knock that yacht. Which one of y'all kicked me? Me.
And I love when he's always always flirting with the bad Asian girl, the ninja.
Oh, the Hispanic chick he works with or whatever? Or
No,
No. The one that's evil. The evil Asian girl. Yeah.
Oh, the bad
And he has
one.
to
Oh,
fight
yeah,
at the end of it. Yeah. It's just like literally bad.
I'd like to take you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
He
could have
knows
had
she's
something
bad, but he's
special.
still trying to mac it to
But
her.
you one crazy ass bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie, dude. My favorite part of the whole movie is the beginning when he's getting all upset about the Michael Jackson impersonator. Like that, I've never watched that and not laughed, and I've seen the movie easily 50 times, dude. He's just sitting there, just getting visibly upset with how bad this Asian dude is at being Michael Jackson, bro. That shit is
Yeah,
fucking
those movies
gold.
are good.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen 3, honestly, though, because I was afraid to watch it. It was one of those, like, 1 and 2 were so perfect where I was just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch anymore. I think that's enough.
Yeah,
They're
I
just
don't
trying
wanna-
to make money off
I don't
us
want
at
to
this
ruin
point.
it. Yeah.
I don't remember what happens in 3.
Because, I mean, at some point it does become a cash grab, right? Like we're talking about Jackie Chan, and they've been advertising the fuck out of the new Karate Kid movie. And every time they show the trailer, like the people in the crowd, oh, it's
Oh
Karate
my
Kid.
God.
And to
Karate
me,
Kid.
Wait,
it's
they're
a
making
fucking
another one?
cash grab. What's that?
They're going to put Jaden Smith in it?
No, it's the one Asian dude from the Karate Kid movie with Jackie Chan. I don't know his name. But
What
the
happened
Asian...
to Jaden Smith?
No, not Jaden Smith. I think the one who's like supposed to be the bully or whatever. It's an Asian kid.
I tried to watch the remake or the reversion of it, whatever. As soon as he got to like, take your jacket off, put your jacket on, hang your jacket up, take your jacket off, I was just like, nah, dude. I'm like, this is
For what? For...
But that was supposed to be wax on and wax off?
He makes him take off his jacket, hang it up, and then put his jacket back on.
I never saw the Jackie Chan Karate Kid
No,
movie.
wait,
I never saw the
think
one
you
with
turned it off.
I never saw the one with the girl either. What was her name? She's
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank. Never saw that. Great actress. Never
That's
saw
the
it.
baby.
That's the next Karate Kid. That's technically the 4th one.
Fourth one.
Oh,
right.
it's actually Karate Kid. I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
because
watch
one
No,
is
no,
Daniel,
it's just,
baby.
you know.
2
I
is
don't know
in
what the fuck I'm
Japan,
talking about.
3 is Terry Silver and
Mike Barnes.
Mike Barnes.
Yeah.
4 is Hilary Swank.
And then 5 would be Jackie Chan and
Yeah,
Jaden Smith.
and then
And then
if
they
you
did
can count
Cobra
that, I
Kai.
guess Cobra Kai is more of
Cobra Kai.
I enjoyed Cobra Kai like the first maybe season or two, and then again it just like how much. This is what I'm getting. Oh, how much can we milk this franchise? How much can we continue
That's like
to milk?
everything, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I won't watch Rush Hour 3 because it's like, all right, at this point, like, you know, I see what you're doing, and I don't want to be part of that. And it's just that how many franchise? That's like the new Goonies movie, bro. Like, come on,
That's what I'm
man.
saying. It's a
I was
fucking
a big
cash
fan.
grab. Just leave
I
it alone.
like Cobra Kai only because what's his face is fucking awesome in it.
Johnny?
The Cobra Kai dude.
Johnny.
The evil one, Johnny.
Johnny, yeah, Johnny's
Johnny
the
is
best.
fantastic. Yeah.
His character is fantastic.
And his story makes total sense. Like he's like this alcoholic, like, you know, depressed dude living in an apartment. He hates his life.
Drinking Coors Banquets.
Coors Banquet, yeah.
Relatable.
One of my favorite scenes in that, besides every time they mention that kid Hawk and you hear the Hawk sound in the background.
Yeah.
But
With the
he's
mohawk,
he's trying to he always tries to motivate the kids with like 80s metal music and 80s and early 90s movies. So he's talking about the movie Ladybugs. And he's like, there's this guy, and he gets no respect because he's talking about Rodney Dangerfield. And I'm just like, right there, the little hidden things in there made me laugh.
Again, I think it was good for maybe the first 2 seasons of Cobra Kai, and
Yeah,
then
it
it just
started
like,
getting crazy.
all right, guys, what are we doing here? You know,
Damn, how many seasons did they make?
I think
There's
there's
probably
like
the 5 or
4,
6.
5 or
What
6
the
or
fuck,
something
dude?
now.
And they're just doing karate the whole time? That's the whole show?
No, it's like
They're
Daniel
trying to
Russo's
bring back
got-
like
he's got a daughter, and then she falls in love with the bad karate kid.
Oh, Romeo and Juliet, dude, remade into a karate movie.
And
it's
then
not
eventually,
that the story's
A
bad.
tale as old as time.
like after a couple of seasons, then they bring back the bad guy from Cobra Kai, the boss.
Oh,
And then
Kreese?
John
John
Reese.
Kreese.
Oh,
And
how
then-
old is he though? He probably looked like a bag of milk at this point, dude. What's
And
he
then
doing?
they-
He's
You
actually
bring
still in
back-
pretty good shape. Go
Then
ahead.
they bring back Terry Silver,
For his age.
and Daniel's son's enemy from Japan ends up being his friend in the Cobra Kai series, and he comes over and he's helping the kids learn karate.
The dude from Okinawa. What's his name?
Yeah,
I forget his name.
you break all the ice.
You have a choice. Broken ice or broken neck.
Hey, you've got to break all 3, right?
Wrong! All 6.
Yeah. I actually love the second Karate Kid movie. I think it's
Second
great.
one's good.
Yeah, the first 2 are awesome.
I've only seen the first one, and I saw it when I was
The second one's great too.
Well, the first one's just a classic.
That's when he does the shit with the kick when his leg's like all fucked up, right? So he's got to stand on the other leg
The
and
crane
then
kick, yeah.
The crane. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone remembers that. That was like
That nobody would
every-
ever fall for, but as a kid, I
Every
loved it.
little kid in the world was hype on that shit for like 10 years, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
It had a great soundtrack.
Which technically,
Oh,
by
yeah.
the
Well,
way,
dude,
is
every movie back then did, dude.
They did. Which technically, by the way, is illegal. If you go back and rewatch the first film, what's her name? Allie with an I is explaining the rules, and you can't kick anybody in the face. How does Daniel beat Johnny? He kicks him in the face.
If you want to get technical, I kicked his face. I'm just busting your chops.
It was an illegal kick.
Oh, illegal? Really? Come on, what about that elbow to my knee?
Yeah, I got a warning. You got the win.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. No fighting in the showroom, guys.
Plot hole.
If you watch
Classic plot hole.
If you watch How I Met Your Mother, they talk about that a lot.
Cobra Kai. Yeah, Johnny says that. He's like, yeah, he
Johnny
beat me with an illegal kick. Yeah.
Johnny's actually the hero in the movie. Daniel's son's the villain.
Damn.
So yeah, if you go back and actually rewatch it, Daniel actually provokes a lot of the alterations that he has with these dudes. Like Johnny's in the bathroom rolling a joint, and Daniel decides that he's going to put a hose over there and soak him with water. So of course Johnny chases him down and kicks the shit out of him.
Dude, isn't it crazy how as kids you're looking at that like, yeah, dude, you shouldn't be smoking weed. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm
good
just
thing
gonna
he
soak
hosed
you
down
with
his
water,
joint, dude. Fuck
and then
that
I'm
guy,
gonna play victim when you beat me up.
Yeah.
You know?
Then you're like 20 and you're like, wait a second, that guy was kind
Yeah,
of a
I
dick.
didn't realize it was weed until I watched it like years later
Same.
and realized that's what he's doing.
I had no idea what he was doing when I was a kid.
And Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah, he's smoking weed in that movie
He's
too.
smoking weed to get the dog all stoned. But I remember as a
Yeah.
kid when I first saw it, I didn't get that part. And then I
No, me
watched it again
neither.
later. And I'm like, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're
getting
up on the
animals
roof.
stoned is always a good time, you know.
I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
I got a
even,
horse really stoned once.
I didn't
man,
like getting my
just
pets
smoked
out. I
yesterday.
felt bad for them because they don't know what's happening. You know, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But one more point, and then we'll leave Karate Kid alone. But even in the beginning of the very first movie, when they're on the beach and Daniel's talking with Allie and Johnny shows up, and Johnny just wants to have a conversation with Allie, and yeah, Daniel butts in, and I don't know. I'm not saying that Johnny's justified in kicking his ass at that point, but if that was my ex-girlfriend and you're the new dude on the block, like, dude, mind your business. Let me
Yeah,
chat with
dribble
my
a
ex
soccer
real
ball
quick.
on your knee.
What's that?
Dribbling a soccer ball on the beach.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's flirting with his girlfriend is whatever, but like, yo, butt the fuck out. This has nothing to do with you. And he was like being cool about it. Like, he's just like, look, I just want to talk to you, which is literally what he says. Daniel butts in. I might react the same way, you know, as a teenager.
Johnny plays this almost the same exact role in. Have you ever seen Just One of the Guys? When the girl pretends to be a dude at a different school.
No.
So the premise of the movie is that the girl's too smart and she wants to be like on her school paper, but she doesn't get it because she's a girl. So she pretends to be a boy and goes to a different school. And Johnny is the bully at the other school. And he has this line where he goes to the cafeteria and picks on people. And he does this thing called when he yells out lift. And he walks over to a table and he lifts up the table and everybody's lunches slide off the thing. That's what he does.
Oh, jeez.
And there's a scene where the girlfriend, Johnny's girlfriend, like the popular girl at school, like breaks her earring or something. So the main character pretending to be a dude like slips out of character, and it's like, oh, break off a piece of an eraser and use that as to fix your earring. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then later in the movie, Johnny's like, why are you talking to that guy? And he's like, oh, he told me how to fix my earring. And he's like, of course he did, because he's a tulip. I guess it's funny when you watch it.
You cut out there for a second.
He calls him a tulip. He's like,
Is that like his way of calling him a homo or something?
Oh yeah, he called him a tulip, like a flower, like a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Paul, bring up Just One of the Guys.
You know, it makes sense. I mean, in like Spanish slang, they say like butterfly and strawberry. Like those are the two words.
Yeah, strawberry was another one.
Fresa.
Yeah, insults back in the day. Just one of the guys.
It's going to be around the same year as Karate Kid. He literally plays the same character.
Oh, here it is. Greg
He's like
Toland.
the same guy in every movie, it seems, dude.
He probably got typecast as a villain.
Yeah, imagine getting typecast as a fucking high school bully. That's just like you're like 25 and you're still a high school bully in every movie you play.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's like what's going on with Jenna Ortega is just typecast as like a high school girl.
The high
and
school
she's like
gothic
25.
chick.
Yeah, and she's like 25 now, and she's like in high school in every movie, flirting with high school kids. That's gotta suck.
I actually like Jenna Ortega's work in Wednesday. I really liked the show. I thought she was great. She's a good Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's good. I like the Addams Family, so
I got
partial
nothing against her at all. I'm just
But
commenting on
the
being
thing is
typecast,
like,
I guess.
why when they do one thing, do all of these actors show up in fucking everything, man? She's literally in one movie or two movies that are out right now. That unicorn film. She was just in Beetlejuice a couple months ago. She's in something else that's dropping in like 2 or 3 months. Like,
isn't that how it's always been though? Like,
yeah, but
whoever's hot right now is hot.
I
That's
really
it. You just
dislike
put
it.
'em on.
Like Hollywood just tends to do that.
Well, there's certain dudes that go with it. Like, you know, the dude Hector from Fast and the Furious? He plays Hector in like every movie he's in. Same gangster
sure, yeah.
character. And his name is Hector in almost all the movies.
I guess if you have some kind of like standout role that is like your whatever role it is like more popular than your actual name, like yeah, you can just ride
Not
on
everyone's trying to win an Oscar, bro. Some people are just trying to get paid, dude.
True.
True.
It's like those UFC fighters that fucking take fights on like a moment's notice, dude, that they didn't even train for, and they're just like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna get a paycheck. You know, I'm not about to be the champion. I don't give a shit." Some people are just
Yeah,
it's
that's
just, like
fair.
to some people, it's not like I don't want to say it's not an art, but it's like their job. Like it's just this is my day job. This is how I get paid, and if I have an opportunity to get paid, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
So
that's
I can
fair.
understand that.
I think a lot of people, especially in the in Hollywood and the acting business, yeah, will do things
Shit, what
simply
would
for
you
a
do?
paycheck.
Right? Like if I think about it and I'm like in Hollywood and like I finally got put in a movie and then for the next 10 years people are like, "Hey, I want you to be that same guy in every fucking movie and every time you do it for that 3 months of work, I'm going to give you $200,000." I'd be like, "Okay,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, no, for
I'll
sure.
be a high school bully till I'm 30." Like why
There's,
why not, bro? Fuck them kids, dude.
there's a movie with Wes Helms from The Hangover, and it's called The Clapper. And his job is he lives in wherever they film infomercials, and him and his buddies are always in the crowd during the infomercials. They just wear a different outfit or whatever. But somehow his clip goes viral, and they figure out who he is, and now they can't put him in the commercials anymore because he's like famous and he doesn't make any money. He gets all pissed off about it.
Damn, yeah, they fucked his livelihood up, dude. No good. It's no good.
The movie's not that good though. I just remember it.
I mean, I know Amanda Seyfried or whatever from what's
Yeah.
she in? She's in
Ted.
Ted 2.
Dude, she's probably been in such classy pictures, dude, and we're over here like Ted. She was in that movie with the teddy bear that smokes weed.
She's a good
That's
actress.
the only thing I can recall her from. What else is she in?
Oh, she's in a bunch of stuff.
I know she is.
Isn't that her filmography right there?
Right
on the
here.
Right?
Well, this is what she's known for. I've never seen any of those.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Oh, Mean Girls. That's right. She's the
Mamma
dumb
Mia.
blonde in Mean Girls.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But you're not wearing pink.
See if I actually have seen any of these other movies. that she's
Goob.
in.
Ringo. To Clapper. Dude, speaking, I don't know why that reminded me of World War One, but Jeff, I need a documentary about the Somme, dude. I'm trying to get into it, dude.
Did you look at the Great War website?
I haven't had a chance yet. I've been hella busy, but fucking, I will. You said it's just the Great War?
Yeah, it's just called the Great War, and they do.
Is it the
there's-
whole World War One, or is it gonna? Because I want to go
No,
in depth
no, no,
specifically with the Somme. Like I want to
there's
know
dozens.
everything. I
There's
want to know what
dozens and
time they woke up
dozens.
that morning, dude. You know?
There's so many videos. They do each individual battle. There's multiple videos on battles. One of the series is like they do each episode is a week of the war.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll like it.
Oh,
So
dude,
it's very
perfect.
in depth.
Yeah, because dude, when I was a kid, I got like I remember like one of the only times I ever went to a library in my life and checked out books was to get a bunch of books about World War One and read about them. I don't remember why. I remember being little and being like, everybody's always talking about World War II, and I was like, what about this one though? Like, what was going on with this World War? And then I went and read about it, and I was like, yo, this is way crazier. I was like, this is fucking insane. Like, not that World War II wasn't insane, but World War One was just like, it was like. Oh, like, dude, first of all, that redrew the entire map of the globe, like, first of all. But the thing that was always so shocking to me was how the tactics were just utterly behind the technology. So you had, like, cavalry charges into, like, machine gun nests for the first time, and people thought, it's like, dude, I just remember reading about that as a kid and being like, yo, that's so insane that they got on a bunch of horses and just rode with thousands of them into machine gun nests, and just all of them just died instantly, and then they couldn't figure out what the fuck to do about it, so they just dug a bunch of tunnels and sat there for 4 years with guns pointed at each other.
And they would
It's
fight.
like
They'd fight over like 100 yards
an
at a
inch,
time.
like yeah,
It'd be from trench to trench. Then you lose the trench and go back to your other
yeah,
trench.
yeah, and the lines like didn't change for like 4 years until tanks came out, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine being the first dude to see a tank. Like, yo,
Yeah, well, World War One changed the warfare because of the machine gun, because of the airplane, and because of the tank.
yes, yeah. Oh, and mustard gas. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, mustard gas was always fun.
That was one of the things in the book that stuck with me too. Is there was a whole chapter about mustard gas and like a very very vivid recounting of like people's first encounters with mustard gas when they didn't know what the fuck it was, and they just saw like a cloud coming towards them, and they were just like, oh, whatever, it's dust or something, and then everyone just starts like fucking hocking up a lung and bleeding out of their eyes and nose.
Yeah,
and
their
just like,
skin,
yo.
it fucks up your skin. And
Yeah,
it kills.
dude.
It can kill you. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
Oh, it killed the shit out of them. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
everybody, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it did kill a lot of people.
Yeah, and then chlorine gas, which I don't know what the difference is, but you know.
Guys, continue. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back.
I'm gonna have a drink. Dude, yeah. But so you said it's just called the Great War?
Yeah, just the Great War.
Yeah, I got to get after it.
I watched a bunch of the stuff on it.
I've been listening to, dude. I've been in so many different directions right now because I'm over here like you guys got me down the Palestine and Israel rabbit hole, so I've been doing my best to like update all my info on that. But then in the Palestine Israel rabbit hole, there's the World War One rabbit hole. It's like deep in there, like because I'm listening to the Fear and Loathing podcast. You know what I mean? Martyr Maid, yeah. And the entire first episode is all about World War One. So then I'm over there listening to it, like, man, now I want to go back and listen to more World War One shit because that seems cool. You know, so it's just every time I listen to one of these things, I end up with like, dude, I have like I'm never gonna get around to reading them, but I have so many like books that have popped up that I want to look into, like that Whitney Webb book.
Yeah, she's got 2 of them. There's part 1 and part 2 of the book.
Yeah, I need to get Audible or something and just get it on audio because I'm like driving and walking around all day every day, so that's where I'm like doing.
Yeah, I do Audible.
I can't read. Like, there's no way I can read. You know.
I've got a book in the bathroom that I only read in the bathroom. I do Audible.
Never thought of it.
And then I have a stack upon stack of books over here.
And you're reading them with like on paper instead of just audio booking them.
No, I do that too sometimes, but not. I have like Audible I listen to in the car, or listen to when, but pretty much when I'm driving, which isn't often, so I don't get to do it that much. The book in the bathroom I only read when I'm in the bathroom, and that's a prison gang book, a history of prison gangs, like the 10th one I've read. And then over here I've got this book called Empire of Ants that I need to finish, and then I go back into my list of I got Scott Horton's Provoked I got to crack into, which it's just
yeah. I'm like strictly on audiobooks. The only books that I'll force myself to read are like philosophy.
Like because my phone folds open like this, so like my screen's that big.
You read like a book on that shit?
Yeah, I use it as like
why not just do audiobooks? I don't understand why I ever read anything.
Because it's hard for me with Audible because then I'm not like my mind's somewhere else. Like when I'm driving, I can listen and I'm okay, but I can't just like sit there and listen to the book and like not do something else. Like,
oh, so you're actually setting aside time where you're not doing other shit to like just intake the information.
Yeah, like if I'm doing the dishes or cleaning the house, I'll throw on either an Audible or I'll throw on YouTube and I'll listen to one of the podcasts that take like an hour and change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have. I refuse. Like I have no like. I'm not setting any time aside to like read.
So I read a lot, but I have hard books, I have Audible, and I have Kindle. But on Kindle, I tend to read nonfiction because Kindle. If you have the Kindle app, there's thousands upon thousands of free books.
Oh.
So
you say nonfiction? Isn't everything you're talking about nonfiction though? Like what fiction? You're reading fiction too?
Oh, sorry, fiction. Yeah,
you're reading. You're reading fiction on Kindle.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I read fiction on Kindle because I can just blow through them.
What the fuck? What kind of fiction are you reading? Like Stephen King and shit, or like?
No. I was into like a series, like book series about like if an EMP went off.
If what?
Oh, so
like an EMP.
Yeah, like theoretical stuff.
So I'll get into like I'll get into like a book series that's about an EMP, and then like there's a huge series. It's called the October Falls series. So the first book's called October Falls, and then there's like a November, December, January, February, March, and that's like the first series, and it's all about an EMP went off in this one spot, and it's this guy's story. But then a bunch of other authors got in on it, and so instead of being like the one that's called October Falls starts at some place in Florida, and then there's one about Boston, so it's like Boston Falls, and then there's Alabama Falls, Texas Falls, Black Hills. There must be like at least 16 different book series, all on the same exact day in the book. The EMP goes off and it's everybody's story. But some of the books are 3 or 4 books long, and I'll read through them. But because they're not, you don't really have to concentrate on them. It's just a story, so you go through them really quick and you get into it. When I read the nonfiction stuff, like the economic books, or when I'm
those are a slog to read,
or even like the prison books that I read about, the gang books, or when I get to Scott Horton's Provoked, like I'm gonna read it and I got to take my time and try to understand what's happening.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to go back and read like the same page multiple times with those books and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, because I went through after college trying to read like I read like the Art of War, fucking The Prince, like all that shit, like just like the recommended reading for like a person of that age, basically like
Yeah.
go do all this. And I remember reading them and being so bored, but like forcing myself to do it.
You
You
thought The
gotta
Art
go
of War
back
was
up.
boring?
Oh yeah, I thought all of them were boring. Don't get
Oh.
me wrong. I'm not saying they weren't profound. I'm not saying they weren't awesome. I'm not saying that they didn't give me a sense of accomplishment and give me a bunch of takeaways. But the actual physical act of reading them when I could go play Call of Duty was insanely boring. Yeah, fuck yeah. Everything's boring compared to video games, dude.
The Art of War.
Fair.
There's a good audiobook series on YouTube, and it's like the animated story of the Art of War. So each chapter has a bunch. It's like a little cartoon that acts out each chapter and reads the chapter word for word to you.
Yeah.
But you get some nice visuals going along with it.
Dude, my favorite part about Art of War, it wasn't actually even Art of War. It was in the foreword of the book of Art of War. That was a story about Sun Tzu that was not in the book. And it was about when, like, some of his exploits, like, as a person out there. And, dude, it was, if you've never heard this, it was so sick because it was basically, like, describing who he was in the area and, like, how much clout he had, basically. Like, was he, like, a legit respected person? And, like, he was. And it was, I don't know if it was like an emperor or like some kind of lord in the area had heard of him and wanted his services. So like they called him in to basically like have a job interview more or less and see if he was qualified to like train their army. And so he, as part of the job interview, he said, I want you to gather all of your concubines out in the courtyard for me. And like concubines are whores basically. Like, yeah. And bring them all out into the courtyard and I'll demonstrate like my ability to like, raise an army or whatever. So then in front of this guy, he instructs all his concubines on how to drill, where he's like, so what you're gonna do is, all the drilling instructions, the marching instructions, and everything. And they're a bunch of like pampered, like women whose life has been basically like living in this palace and serving this one guy. And so they're all like giggling and they're like laughing and they're not like doing what they're supposed to do or whatever. And then it gets time to actually do the marching. And so he calls for them to do the marching and they're all laughing and playing and having a good time and all that. And then he stands up, he tells them all to be quiet, and he turns to the emperor or whatever and to these women, and he says, if the instructions are unclear and the orders are not followed, then the problem is on the general, and therefore the general should re-explain the orders. So then he turns to them and he explains everything again, the exact same way that he did before, and then orders them all to drill again. And it's the same thing. And he walks up to the number one concubine, the prettiest one, and just beheads her right in front of all of them. And then turns around and tells all of them to march again. And they all get in line and start marching. And he says, well, first he says, like, if the orders are clear and the orders are not followed, then the issue is with the men and they must be disciplined. And then he like cuts her head off right in front of all these women. And then they all just start marching like a perfect army. And he turns and he gets the job. And it's like such a gangster story, dude. Like, I like that.
That's how you send a message right there.
Oh no, but it's just like he was just no bullshit, nothing, and he knew they were gonna fuck around too. Like after he said the first one, and yeah,
Who
so
would
apparently he
after
was
you
pretty
watched
legit.
that happen?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, they're serious. All right, let's start
Yeah,
marching.
yeah.
Don't say
So,
anything.
Nah, he was a badass for sure, and it was like I said, like reading the book itself was tough, like, but it's cool to have read it and like
I actually read it
it's
during
fun.
COVID. It
Yeah.
I can't say I really learned anything from it because a lot of the practices I had already learned elsewhere, even though this is most likely the source of many of those practices. But I rather enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting.
No, yeah, it was. It's just like I
Paul,
said,
you're
I'm
low- you're low
comparing
again.
it to like other stuff. What?
What?
Said Paul, you're low again.
Oh, sorry. I'll try to talk
can
into the
hear
mic. Just
Yeah.
our. But yeah, I mean, you guys were talking about like the difference between reading and like listening, and I think they're both really good. Like right now, I'm reading the Bible, as you guys probably know, based on some of the
Fiery
text
serpents.
messages I've sent you recently.
Yeah, you got some fiery serpents over
So
there.
fiery serpents, whatever the hell that means. So anyway, so that one I'm actually reading, but like the book I listened to prior to that was an audiobook, and I think the good thing about like audiobooks, at least for me, right? Like you mentioned, you're driving around, you're walking around, so you
Yeah.
can kind of just listen while you're doing other things. For me, I'm cleaning the apartment or vacuuming or folding laundry or whatever, and I like the fact that I can listen while I'm doing those things.
Yeah.
Like when I'm listening to podcasts and shit all day, I'm playing fucking Division while I'm doing it.
Damn.
I just play Division with like
Well,
with no music and no like the sound effects are low, just so I know.
But if
that
you're
I can hear my gun.
gaming though, right? Like you're
Yeah, if I'm gaming,
kind
I
of
gotta be.
distracted.
I'm locked in.
But
I'm
it's
trying to game.
but it's not like
You're
Even if you're
playing like
not
chill
listening,
games.
yeah, I'm playing the Division. I mean, it's just like I'm just replaying the same. I'm just basically grinding. I'm not even like I'm
yeah,
not
I
playing
get
the
it.
story. I'm not playing the story mode. I'm not listening to the voices. It's not that.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
and you know the game well enough at this point to just like.
I'm literally
yeah.
grinding. Like you could play Destiny the same way. You're just
Yeah.
trying to get experience and level up.
I
While
get
you're
it.
doing
If you're just like farming and you're in the woods, you know, trying to get to level 99, you're slaughtering the same stupid boars over and over again. You know, you're
Yeah,
just
pretty
basically
much.
button mashing. Yeah, then I can understand you like listening because you're not really paying
Yeah,
attention
like
to the game.
my character's high enough, and my particular build is solid enough that like, and there's 3 other people with you, so it's not like if I die, they're all screwed, and I can still play on legendary and get through it and be fine and listen to fucking Tom Woods or Dave Smith. Like I was listening to Dave Smith and Lex Friedman today. I was playing the Division.
Yeah, you're like on autopilot basically. So,
Yeah.
but you said so. Dave Smith and Lex Friedman, was that a good one? Does Lex ask him any kind of like relevant questions, or is it just
Yeah,
like
it's
what do
pretty.
you
It's
think
a long
about
one.
love? Do you like
It's
the
like
idea of love?
it's 3 hours. It's a decent. I mean, it's Dave Smith. And I've heard most of his
What's
stuff.
the bulk of the conversation?
Well,
Is Will
I like
Palestine?
Dave Smith. I just Lex bores me, but yeah.
Lex is kind of boring. Just yeah.
Just
to be
like
fair.
what do you think about love? Do you guys think that people should love each other and love is good? I
Yeah.
think love is just. I mean,
Yeah, he challenges Dave a little bit, but
gotta
you
love
know,
everything.
Dave's
So
still
happy to be
Dave.
alive and love. Like, all right, bro.
And then the other thing I listened to today was I was driving around in the car, so I was listening to Zero Hedge has been hosting these debates every couple of weeks for the last few months.
That's the
now.
economics guy you listen to?
No, Zero Hedge is kind of an economic finance website, but they're pretty solid in the politics and stuff too. But anyway, they host a bunch of podcasts. I think the first one they ever did was actually Dave Smith and somebody on Israel.
Ooh.
But this one was it was Peter Schiff, who is an economist and financial dude, and I forget the other guy's name, is escaping me, but it was like MAGA versus libertarians on tariffs, and it was about Trump's tariffs and shit that's going on right now. So this dude was obviously pushing Trump's argument, and then Peter Schiff was just fucking laying the hammer down because he's fucking Peter Schiff.
Oh yeah, I've listened to 2 completely different sides of the spectrum about the tariffs this week. It's been pretty interesting. I have no idea what I think about it at this point.
Yeah,
but,
I'm
like,
kind
I
of in the
listened to
middle
Dave-
too. I'm not really sure.
I listened to Dave Smith's whole because he hates them. Like he thinks they're dumb. He made a good point, but he also conceded some of the good points that are being made by the tariffs too. So I guess it was a bit of a mixed bag with Dave Smith, which is good. I like that. Like it's good to.
Well,
not
Dave
just be
Smith, being a libertarian, he falls under, and he's an anarcho-capitalist, so he's into the camp of Murray Rothbard and shit.
Yeah, his whole thing was like, fix the monetary issues at home first. Like get rid of the central bank and like taxes and all that shit.
No argument there.
Well, one of the big things that you hear right now is that everyone likes to make the comparison to Trump's tariffs and the Great Depression, because the story you hear growing up is that the Great Depression was caused by the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, which couldn't be further from the truth. And anybody who takes 5 minutes to actually look into it, you find out that it wasn't the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, and at the end of the day, it was the Fed.
Yeah.
Shocker! Spoiler alert! It's the Fed.
It's not the tariffs; it's the Fed.
Corruption, central banking, the Fed.
Yeah.
What do you think about the tariffs, Jeff?
I think tariffs at the end of the day are a fucking tax, because that's what they are.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think about what do you think about this iteration of tariffs that are currently happening via Trump?
The problem with Trump's tariffs is that it's not like Trump has I mean, I guess he sort of has a game plan if you want to use the soft power argument. But what he does is he leaves so much uncertainty in the market, which is why the market dropped and everybody's taking their money out, hoarding their money because they're afraid to make moves because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't have a game plan. But Trump's argument is, I'm going to make things shitty to make them better, and then I guess he's fucking doing it.
Dude, I like ironically think that it's like it's like I don't know how to like phrase this, but I've been having the thought that it's like, you know how like people on the left are like constantly calling for like wealth redistribution, you
Yeah.
know, like that's their thing. Like I like ironically think that like what's going on with all this is one of the single greatest opportunities for wealth redistribution that's ever happened. Because like I'm looking at like the stock market and stuff, and like just like take like Bitcoin or like Solana or like one of those, for example. Like Solana in December was at 234, right? And it was down to 105 today. And like, if you think about it, like there's probably no way that it doesn't go back up to 200 at some point. Like there's no way that the crypto market doesn't recover, right? Like that's going to happen. Like so I'm thinking like if you're like a younger person who hasn't invested right now and you want to become part of the middle class, like it's like right now it's probably like one of the single greatest investment opportunities you're ever going to get in your life, probably.
Right, with Solana, the difference between like there's a guy I like a lot, and his name's Robert Breedlove, and he is an Austrian economist, but he's a huge Bitcoin dude. And I've heard him in Shift debate, which is fantastic.
Okay.
But like the difference between Bitcoin and all the other shit coins is like Solana at the end of the day can be and was at one time manipulated, wasn't it?
Well, no, there was a thing that happened recently with it where they were saying it was manipulated or something happened, but I don't really know what was going on.
Yeah, so
One of my friends that was deep in there told me it was bullshit. So
yeah, so Solana is if you're gonna fuck around with crypto, you gotta fuck around with Bitcoin, and the rest of them are all bullshit, basically. And I can't explain that. I would recommend Breedlove because he does it very well.
it depends. Does he think Ethereum is bullshit? Like nobody thinks Ethereum is bullshit.
At the end of the day, yeah, because there's rules to it that they don't follow that Bitcoin does.
Yeah, but they also have different applications than Bitcoin. Like Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, like look, man, I'm no fucking crypto expert either. All I know is that some of them genuinely have uses that Bitcoin doesn't, and that Ethereum, from what I understood of it when I looked into it like 5 years ago, is that Ethereum was the first one that had like an application beyond just simply being like a financial staking thing. It was like you could put it into um, dude, like you remember when all those like virtual games came out and like I forget what the fuck they were called, man. They had like a name and they all had like cryptos tied to them, and it's like if you buy a house in this game, you'll actually have it.
Oh, your brother was into that shit for a minute.
Yeah, that nonsense. From what I understand, is that tech all comes straight from Ethereum and not from Bitcoin. And I don't remember the difference why, but there's a difference between the way their blockchains work. And so the vast majority of like coins actually stem out of Ethereum and not from Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Again,
if
not
you-
100% sure what I'm talking about, but
Yeah, what I'm understanding is that when it comes to Bitcoin and the fact that Bitcoin is limited and there is a set amount of how much there can possibly be, and the others aren't like that, which allows them to be manipulated by the people who have the most or are in control or whatever. And something happened with Solana, whatever the hell it's called.
yeah, this
that
year something
brought
did
up.
happen. I forgot what it was.
And I don't remember. I just heard the story like 2 days ago too. I don't remember because I don't understand crypto, so it's harder for me to grasp it because I just don't understand. I don't see it. You know, it's not fucking real.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody does. You know, like I mean, the bros that are deep in it, they get it. But like whenever they explain it to you, because like, dude, I've sat down and I've gone on YouTube and I've been like, hey, explain crypto to me, and YouTube has done its best. And I've had some of the bros try to explain it to me, and I'm still kind of in the same boat as you. The like TLDR that I get out of it is that it's essentially like a digital gold standard for the reason that you just said, like you can't make more of it. But the whole reason why it is a digital gold standard is because of the encryption technology behind it, like the blockchain. Like they're extremely advanced math algorithms that essentially secure them against any kind of hacking or penetration from somebody. And it's like revolutionary in how novel it is. And that's really the tech. The tech is the security behind it. And so I guess in a digital space, having something that secure has value. And then if there's a limited quantity of it, I suppose you can treat it like a gold standard and make it a digital currency. But again, it's like every time I look into it, I'm more confused about it. So
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm actually gonna send this to you right now before I forget.
what is it?
It's just a link to Robert Breedlove's YouTube.
And he was just talking to somebody about why Bitcoin's
He talks
shit,
about it
basically?
all the time. What I like about him is that one, he's an Austrian, so I understand when he's breaking down economics. But he doesn't just do Bitcoin; he does everything. He has his own show, but he's a very pro Bitcoin person.
Yeah, dude, I think
I would consider him one of the experts in the field, and if you want to understand what he's talking about, he's a guy you would want to. He can explain it to you well.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to it because I do want to understand it better. I've been monitoring like the crypto market for probably a decade now, and it's like even though I don't understand it, there is like a few things I have noticed though is that like if a coin reaches like a certain size, because obviously they all fluctuate with Bitcoin. Like if Bitcoin goes up, all of them go up. If Bitcoin goes down, all of them go down. The only difference is that the percentage change in them can be higher or lower because they have a higher or lower like value, right? So like Bitcoin's at like what 88,000 right now.
It's under 80.
Well, yeah, I think it went back up today though to like 83 or something, or I think it's around 80,000, right? It's around 80,000. I think Ethereum is around like 3,000. But then you get down to Solana and it's down to like 100, right?
Oh yeah,
But
it's at 82.4.
right, but when Bitcoin goes up, they all go up, and they don't go up by equivalent percentages because of how small or big they are. So, like, I could be wrong, but like again, in December, Solana was at 234. I don't think Bitcoin was at 166,000, right? I don't think so. I know it got over 100K, but
Yeah,
you know,
100.
but when Bitcoin came down, Solana came down. When Bitcoin goes up, Solana goes up, and that's why like if you look at it, and it's like you're trying to like make 20% of your money and like to increase. Solana being at $100 right now is like, to me, it just seems like a great opportunity. Like, because Bitcoin will go up, the crypto market will go up, all of these things that are completely dependent on Bitcoin will trend up with it because that's what they do, but they'll trend up at a higher percentage than them as long as they're not literally a shit coin, which can just go in the toilet and disappear overnight like Doge, right? Like, people lost a ton of money off Dogecoin when they thought Elon Musk was going to fucking send it through the roof and it didn't, you know? I think I put money into it when that happened and I got in too late. And it's like those are the shit coins. But like the ones that reach like critical mass that are actually like staying around and like consistently doing their thing, like Ethereum and Solana, like I don't think they're going anywhere. And I think if you expect Bitcoin to go back up, then it's like a better investment to go into them because they will go up with it at a higher percentage. But that's what I
couldn't
think.
tell you.
Right? Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I know nothing. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, either way, like fuck the crypto thing. Like we could take Nvidia or like anything, and the stock market has utterly just gone down. It's taken a downhill tumble, right? But it's like, do you believe that in the next 5 years it's going to come back to where it was? Like things will happen, right? Like
If you follow the S&P, I mean, yeah, it always comes back and it's always higher than it was before, which is why.
Well, then that's my point. That's my point.
Gets to say that the stock market's never been higher. Well, no shit, because it doesn't go back down. Eventually it keeps, even after the dip, it goes back.
Yeah,
up.
so that's what I was saying about like the wealth redistribution thing in a way. It's like you have a ton of established investors right now who are losing a shit ton of money. And like in the next 5 years, they'll go back to having the amount of money that they had already. But the new investors, like if you're a young person or like just a person getting into investing who's like, man, where are these major opportunities for me to like 10x my money? It's like, well, it did literally right now. Like while he's crashing every market known to man down to fucking pre 2020 levels, you know, like that's your investment opportunity. That's where you put money in.
Here, we'll attach the link to the bottom of the fucking thing. There's a paper that Trump is using as basically his guide to what he's doing. It's called Jesus fucking Christ! I just shared it with somebody today. Anyway, he's one of the dudes on his economic team, and it's like the guide to redistribution in the global market or something. I said, and it is pro tariff, obviously, which I disagree with. But Trump's theory is basically you put all these unbelievably high tariffs on people who won't negotiate with you to bring them to the table. And now, as of today, the stock market rebounded after Trump put a 90-day. First, it was a false 90-day from like 2 days on Friday. There was a rumor that he was going to put a 90-day pause on it, and since then, like 80 plus countries have reached out to America saying, "Chill, we'll fucking negotiate."
Mostly small countries, right? Like Nicaragua and shit. No.
Well,
Right.
Israel, Australia, Canada.
Okay. Really?
Well, yeah, pretty much everybody but China.
China.
And then, and China's actually the only country that didn't get its tariffs paused today.
Yeah, he said he's gonna raise them, didn't he?
He raised them to 125%.
That's so funny.
Guys, if I can chime in, real quick, yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about tariffs. I think I'm kind of in the middle here. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I think I understand the basics of it. I was gonna say what you just said. So, if you're using it as some kind of bargaining chip, right? It seems to have been working because I heard it was 50 countries. You just said 80. There's only what 226 countries in the world. So even
No,
if
I think
they're
it's 190 something are recognized by.
Okay, so even better. So if we look at it like that, and let's just take the numbers that I heard yesterday. If 50 countries out of 190 something just came to the negotiating table, I would say that that's a win. Now
Yeah, it was 50. It was 50 the other day, and then now what I saw was 90. I said 80 to be safe.
even if Trump doesn't work out any kind of agreement with them, the fact that they're willing to come to the table and discuss it, and not flat out say, "Hey, f you," I think is a win.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, well, the damage has been done just by putting the tariffs on in the first place, or threatening to do so. They didn't start until I think yesterday was the day they actually were kicked in. The effect on the market's already taken place. People have lost money. There's uncertainty in the market. People hate uncertainty. Even like, tariffs aren't a big deal if you know the tariffs are coming. Inflation isn't necessarily a big deal if you're anticipating it happening and you can plan for it. So like with what Trump leaves and is giving to America and the world is uncertainty. And when people are uncertain, they don't invest. They either sell or hold and hoard their money until they know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's what happens during every recession, right? Even the people that maybe have money to burn, they hold it because the market's bad, right? They're not going to go out and invest in a new home or a new car or whatever if you're, if you have a little bit of extra money but you're not loaded, because that's a massive gamble. So anyway, let me just go back for a sec. I just wanted to finish what I was going to say. So the other thing that has come to my attention is like Europe, for example, right? Like the EU, the European Union.
Well, I'm having trouble hearing you, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. So like the European Union, right? Like from what I understand, Europe has like 13% taxes on the United States or something like that, and has for a while. Not taxes, tariffs. And we don't have anything on them. So again, just from an outsider's perspective, a guy that knows nothing about any of this shit, that sounds really unfair. That you guys are slapping us with a 13% tariff and we're not hitting you with anything. So in some ways, like it kind of makes sense to me where Trump's like, nah, fuck that. We're going to level the playing field. You guys are either going to come around or we're going to basically incentivize or force Americans, not force, but to buy American products after we're done tariffing the shit out of you. So I guess, again, I kind of have mixed feelings about it. And that leads me to like your points about the economy, right? Like we already knew that the economy was going to tank, right? We knew we were going to hit a major recession. We knew there was going to be a crash. Something bad was coming, right? Like just due to the bubble bursting at some point. So at this fucking point, like you might as well just let Trump do his fucking thing because the market's going to crash anyway. And I don't really see how he could mess it up any worse than what we were already headed towards. But again, I digress. I don't know shit about economics. That's just kind of like my ideas on it.
Well, Trump's tariffs aren't reciprocal. Like he was saying, like reciprocal means like if China slaps you with 5% tariff on steel, then you put a 5% tariff on steel on them. Right. It isn't like Trump. It's not like they hit us with 5 and Trump's then whacking you with a 25. That's not reciprocal. That's more of a. What tariffs are is protectionist. You know what I mean? And like early on in the founding fathers had a debate about this, which like with Washington and Hamilton agreed. Like there's certain there's certain manufacturing that you kind of want to have. And Jefferson was originally against it, but kind of after the War of 1812, he changed his mind because they had trouble getting ammo or something for one of the wars. So like, there's certain things that you want to build at home. Like you want to have, like, what's the point of having, if we make all the guns but we import our ammo from somewhere else? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's certain things you need to have as a state to operate that you should be manufacturing yourself.
Yeah, no, that's really important because I was listening. So I've listened to two different people talking tariffs, and one of them was Dave Smith, and that's like Dave Smith has like the anarcho-capitalist type of like libertarian thing on it, but he addresses those points, but the way he runs through them and just kind of glazes over them like they're not a big deal, I thought was kind of because like what you just said is a really important thing, right? Because like he was making the point, he's like, we're mad at China for giving us really really cheap shit. And it's just like, how can you like and then he like sets up this whole economic premise, and he's like, how in the world can you argue against having really really good cheap shit given to you? He's like, there's nothing but benefits from that, there's nothing but profit from that. And then he briefly mentions the fact that like, oh yeah, well, what could happen though is that we get so used to them making all of our essentials in a cheap way that we forget how to make those essentials. And then one day they turn the switch off, but whatever, that's not a big deal. And it's like, well, no, that's actually a huge deal, right? Like you can't just glaze past that or gloss past that. Like if they're giving us really good deals on things and like at the same time building themselves up as an economic and military powerhouse to the point where one day they own the Panama Canal and they're just like, yeah, fuck you guys, we don't want to give you this shit for cheap anymore. Like, and then our whole country has forgotten how to make guns and steel. And like, during COVID they made like 90% of our pharmaceutical industry shit, if I'm not mistaken. Like all of our COVID testing packets had to come from them. Like all the different shit that you get packaged for like anything pharmaceutical all comes from China. Like we have no infrastructure for masks, any of that shit. And it's like, if we just even getting hit by another pandemic, if China was just like, yeah, fuck you guys, we're not going to give you a damn thing that is going to help with a pandemic, like we'd be up shit's creek. We'd be paying like $10 for a mask,
Yeah, that's a
you
fair
can't
point.
have that. Like, it's great that the trade balance between us is phenomenal in our favor right now. But the minute that they give us the middle finger and say, hey, we're taking off as the next big superpower, you guys can eat a bag of dicks. At that point, we're fucked.
Well,
So
the other
it's
thing
like,
too, right, is like when you build things at home, right? When you have all of the home corporations, factories, all of that stuff, that creates jobs, for all the Americans. So the
Yeah.
money is basically funneling within our country. Whereas when we're buying everything from overseas, we are contributing to that country's economy.
Right. One of the arguments for protectionism is that we make it here and we're giving our people jobs, but everybody forgets about the fucking consumer. So there's Americans that are now building the shit, but it's still more expensive for me because it's not built somewhere else and shipped in.
Yes,
cheaper.
but
At the end
if
of
you
the day-
slap a go ahead.
So at the end of the day, like I'm still paying more as the consumer, which is where free trade comes in.
That part's true. So yeah, I watched a video yesterday where this guy used the Zippo lighter to make an example, and he said, "This Zippo lighter is made in the United States. It's $25, right?" He's like, "Right now, China sells us Zippo lighters, similar quality at $20, or maybe lesser quality, but it's $20. So because that Zippo's $5 cheaper, most people are just going to buy the cheaper one. But if you slap tariffs on China, let's just say the price goes up to $30, right? Now Americans aren't going to buy the cheaper made Zippo from China for $30. They're going to buy the American one. Am I paying? This is your point. Hang on. Am I paying an extra $5 for Zippo lighter? Yes, I am. Because again, we're buying the American version, but that money now goes back into the American economy as opposed to Chinese economy, and that makes sense to me.
Right, it's protectionism, and it's just it at its core, it's still anti-free trade.
yeah, but what's the big deal though if it's beneficial? Like, I think sometimes, I mean, I know that's not like the right thing to say, but sometimes I do feel that way. Like I feel like people get too caught up in like isms and ideologies where it's like, I am so pro free trade that I can't recognize the nuance when like it's sometimes good to restrict free trade, Like, what's the big deal? If it's a net positive for the country, who gives a shit if it restricts free trade a little bit?
But
You
is
know what I
it
mean?
is it a net positive for you as an individual?
Well, it depends, right? I guess that always like makes me wonder exactly what is the point of the individual within the state. Is it that you simply are to exist for yourself and have the best life that you can possibly have for you? Or is it that like we're building something in this country collectively that's supposed to be the most powerful thing that's ever existed? You know? It's a debate, it's a philosophical thing, and I'm finding myself more and more on the collectivist end of it as I get older. As a
But
younger person, I was more individualist, I think.
right, but at the end of the day, collectivism to achieve that end will still have to use force, which would end up violating somebody else's rights to achieve your end.
Yeah, but that's like a very broad statement, right?
But,
Like if we're
but it's not voluntary. Capitalism itself is about two individuals volunteering to work together to achieve an end that benefits both.
Yeah, but
Once you add force into that, it's no longer
But who
voluntary.
cares,
Now
though?
it's
Is I
by
guess what
force.
I'm saying is like, right? Because you just said it, like we went back to another ism, right? You just went back to capitalism, and with the word capitalism, then you have a whole bunch of rules and expectations that come along with it, as opposed to just saying like, hey, here's all the ideologies that exist across the world, and let's just pick and choose the shit that's the best for us to build something that's good, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I normally like. I understand capitalism is the best thing that's ever happened to the world, allegedly, right? Like out of all the economic systems, it's the one that's done the best by far. But I never understood the blind obedience to it. And I'm not saying like, hey, dabble in communism, dabble in socialism. I'm just saying like, hey, if a situation comes up where like restricting free trade is in the best interest of the country and a large scale long-term benefit of the people in that country, restrict fucking free trade for a little while and like get over the fact that it flies in the face of capitalism for a couple years. Like it's not that big of a deal to like, not follow every ism to a T, you know?
It's not a bad idea. Again, at this point, what the fuck? Because whatever we've been doing for the last 10, 20, 30 years, we're trending in the wrong direction. So let's fucking shake it up a little bit. And if that shit doesn't work, then we'll stop shaking it up. That's what I say, Like,
yeah,
that's how I look at it. So I'm with you, Rob. Like, fuck it. Let's see how this works out. If it doesn't work, we'll stop and we'll try something else.
Yeah, there's what is it? I think there's 4 outlined emergent technologies that if any one of them pops off, too, it's not going to matter anyway, because like, you're not going to recognize the economic systems anyway. Like these motherfuckers that just resurrected dire wolves. If you listen to that podcast and they explain all the applications that they could possibly have out of that, and the tech that they already have that they already can do that they're being held back by like ethics legislation right now, it's insane. Like
Well,
they
that's
can take,
us. Like, they're already what I saw about the dire wolves today, and we'll save the capitalism stuff for another time. But is that China is already doing the dire wolf type shit to their own people?
Dude, China has been doing gene editing for the last 20 years.
I could go through that. They did it to two. They did it to 2 people. It was 2 girls. It was 2 female babies. And what they did was so first of all, the whole idea here is that like we can.
I'm listening.
Yeah. The whole idea here is that you can essentially go into an embryo's, genetics, and you can do whatever the fuck you want to it, basically. And the more they understand what doing all the little things here and there, like it's not going to be as simple as eye color or hair color or your height. It could be all kinds of shit. And so what they did in China was there was these 2 girls, and this guy, I guess you could say it was an experiment, but what he did was he wanted to make babies who were immune to HIV. So they had
that's what it was.
That's what it was. So they made these 2 baby girls who were allegedly immune to HIV, but then the funny part was as a side effect of it, allegedly, they had raised IQs significantly above the normal range. So it's like, was that a side effect, or is that really what they're doing over there? Are they trying to make a race of super intelligent people? And then that gets you further down the road is it's already well known, well published, and well documented that if we wanted to do that, we could start printing babies with like 140 plus IQs out the ass, like no problem. Like right now, like today we can do that. The people holding us back are like religious people, basically. Like, oh, don't play God. Let's just keep printing dumb people
There is a moral
instead.
aspect to it.
Yeah.
And I don't expect everybody to agree.
Sure. Let's just keep printing dumbasses instead, though.
Well, no, I'm
really well.
I'm kind of on the fence with this. Like, I see the benefit. If we could edit out cancer, and leukemia and all these terrible things, and we can make people smarter to a small degree, Yeah, that sounds
Not
good
just
to
a
me.
small degree.
But
it would be big.
well,
Yeah.
I'm just again whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like I don't know, like I'm just kind of like half in, half
It's
out on that.
uncomfortable. Like it's an uncomfortable thought that like, hey, somebody in like these people, my friends who haven't had kids yet, they can have babies, and like if we let this thing off the chain, they could be 6'5", blonde-haired, blue-eyed, fucking 150 IQ dudes who literally can write Spanish with their left hand and Russian with their right hand.
Right.
And it's like that is currently within the spectrum of our technology that we have today. We can do that, and we're not doing it. And you know that's like eventually like someone's gonna the China thing is like that's like the first shot fired. Like they're the first ones to like break that unwritten rule, but like they're not going to be the last. Like it's going to start happening, and that's not the only industry that can pop off and completely change humanity. You know.
And the example you guys gave is just one example. Like I've read other examples that they did in China. This is just one, one study or whatever that they did. There was another one they did with twins. I think the twins are like in their 20s now or something like that. So this shit's going like, this shit is going back.
Dude, it was a trip to listen to the guy talk because he was like, because he's an entrepreneur, right? Like he's not a scientist, and it's always fun to listen to entrepreneurs talk about highly sensitive like technologies that they're entrepreneuring, you know, because like they're not going to tell you the tech side of it. They're going to like they give you like a hint as to like what their backdoor is going to be into making this shit popular, right? And so like that's what he said is like, oh, you know, it's really touchy to do this with human beings, but the way that we're having a ton of success is in the dog market. People seem to be okay with it being with dogs because nobody wants to lose their family dog. So we're offering cloning services for people's dogs, as well as eventually the idea is to eventually make people's dogs immortal. Like you'll eventually have an immortal dog. They'll be immortal before we are.
There's a Schwarzenegger movie that has to do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Was it like
What
the
is
Sixth
it?
Day or
The
something
Sixth
like
Day.
that? Yeah,
I
that's
gotta
it.
watch that.
Yeah, because they
That's how the movie starts because he goes and buys a cloned dog, right?
he has to buy a clone dog.
Yeah.
So that's currently going on right now. There's a service available in the United States where if you want your dog to be cloned, you can go have your dog cloned. Like that you can do it right now today. And the next step after that is to take your current dog and simply manipulate its genome so that it never gets any of the health issues that dogs die from. And then you'll have like an 80-year-old dog, potentially a 200-year-old dog, right? And that's like coming down the pipeline. Like today you can already clone your dog and just repeatedly get the same dog, dude.
Where's my dog?
He's probably out getting cloned, bro.
Nah, I think she's with my wife actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty
dude,
wild. So yeah, you guys are absolutely right about that. I've known about this for some years now. Like before I was even awake, I knew about this gene editing thing that they were doing in China.
Yep.
And I used to be all gung ho about it. Now I'm, like I said, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I see the benefits. I see the benefits, and I also see why people don't want us tampering with other animals and humans. So yeah, it's kind of like a very gray area.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Phils just came back in the ninth. So now,
That's probably a good place for us to kill it anyway.
No, they're on the road, so it's 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth, the top of the ninth. Sorry.
You wanna cut it off?
This is probably a good place to stop, unless you guys keep want to go. Whatever.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours. So it's not like we're getting anything serious. We can get back to let's see what happens with the Trump and the tariffs before I really want to dive into it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Did you want to add anything else, Rob, before we go? We could go back to the cloning topic if you had more to say.
No, man, you get me talking for like 2 hours on this shit. I'm good, dude.
I figured that's why we should cut it off because we might be here for the next 2 or 3 hours.
We can text about it, and then like if we do this again, we can talk more about
Rob,
all the emerging.
You can come on all the time if you want, dude. This is fucking fun. I enjoy this. So.
I'm down whenever, bro. You just
honestly,
hit me up.
This is just easier than us texting each other all the fucking time anyway.
Absolutely.
Hey man, I'm out there walking dogs like fucking all day, and I just see the text pop up, and I'll say something if I can, so it's fine with me. I'm not one of these people that's anti-text, I'm all for it, so whatever.
My thumb gets
whatever
tired
works
sometimes too.
Yeah.
Your thumbs get tired, bro? How many texts are you sending,
you see some of the novel texts I send you guys. You probably reading this shit like, yo, come on.
Oh Jesus! I was
fiery serpents, bro.
I'm not reading all this shit, Paul.
You and Ed before, and I looked back, and there was like 96 missed texts. I'm not
Yeah.
going through this fucking nonsense.
Yeah, no.
Me and Rob chatted quite a bit yesterday.
I saw that it was about Lunar, and that was enough for me. I'm like, all right, I'm not talking.
Oh, that was me and Ed earlier.
Yeah, you and Ed.
Okay, that's not me. I'm not in that one.
Yeah, no, it was a different thread. But yeah, sometimes I just get like a lot of thoughts on my mind, and I just gotta like tell people. I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna fucking tell you anyway. You know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's weird. I'm like, I'll save it for the podcast, save it for the podcast, and now I'm like, you're like protectionism. I'm like, I don't even know how to answer that right now.
You ever journal, PJ?
No, I probably should. I've
Certainly
been
helps.
thinking
It
about
gets things
doing
off your mind.
my upcoming life may put me in a situation where I may start doing like some vlogging or
You know, I thought about doing like the voice recorder because I have these awesome fucking thoughts in
that
my
would be
head
so
that I want to like
sick.
get out. I should really type this shit down, write this shit
No,
down.
that would be sick to do the
There's
voice
something
recorder.
like therapeutic about just putting your thoughts down on paper. Like I don't give a shit if anybody reads it. You know, just I don't know. It's
Dude, it helped me tremendously. Like I went through a rough time in my life like a couple years ago, and like journaling was one of the #1 things. Cause like they'll be like, yo, meditate, but I can't fucking meditate. Like if I sit there and I try to meditate, my mind just goes in a million directions, and I can't do it. But like for some reason, writing down, it's just like all the thoughts just stop, and they just come out on the paper, and then you leave them there, and then you go like do something else, and it just seems to help a little bit.
yeah, there's
so.
I've
something
been doing,
therapeutic about it.
Oh
well,
yeah, totally.
When I'm listening to podcasts, because I got it, like when I'm trying to keep like myself busy, I just got a nice new box of colored pencils, and I got these old adult coloring books, and I'm going back through and just listening to my shit, trying to keep my mind focused on something, keep my hands busy.
You said adult coloring books, was this porn?
Yeah, what, adult coloring books, bro? What are you
What's
talking
an
about?
adult coloring book?
Nah, I've never seen an adult coloring book, dude.
How have you not seen an adult coloring?
You got one on you, bro? Can we see an adult
It's
coloring
actually
book?
being used to help prop up the height of my. Thing right now.
Yo, I'm gonna look up adult coloring books now.
There's
Yeah,
Number
like
what
is
I'm
this
gonna
like some
find, dude.
war shit? Is there like blood
Yeah, what-
splatters and stuff? Like
Nah,
what is
these
this?
ones are. Actually, I want a different one. These ones are actually too fucking complex for me.
That's just bowls of fruit, dude. It's just different fucking.
Nah,
it's like potatoes and shit, dude.
Those would actually be a lot easier than the ones that I'm doing.
Some vegetables.
Well, fill us
Yeah.
in next time. I want to see these adult coloring books.
Yeah, they sound fucking lit, dude.
I have images of like samurai just slicing people up on the
Oh,
battlefield.
dude, yo. Hey, I got my adult coloring book right here, bro. Check out my boy Angron. Yo.
Oh
I'm not
wow,
done
look
with
at
it.
that, man.
I want to.
Oh.
There's a couple of models that
I was working on them today.
You painted that, right?
Yeah, I'm still. It's gonna take me another like month to finish it probably, but I paint it on Wednesdays. I like volunteer at this shop to like help them with like their Warhammer, and that's who I'm painting this month.
That's awesome, dude. I can't keep my hands still, so kudos to you, man, for being able to
Oh,
hold
there's
that
tricks,
little
dude.
paintbrush.
There's all kinds of tricks, dude. You could learn the skill. It's an acquired skill, for sure. What did you say, Cayman? You're showing us something?
No, I said there's a couple of models that I was thinking about getting.
Oh, do it, dude. The Space Wolves are getting a whole new line, bro.
Nah, I don't want to paint. That's too much fucking work for me.
Or you just send it to Rob, have him paint it for you for a small fee.
Hey, give me $1,000, dude. I'll paint a couple of your models, dude.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, shit, dude.
All right.
Yo, what is that, bro? It's like an Alice in Wonderland fish.
Like shit like this.
Oh my
All
god,
right.
dude. It's a terror bird. Oh, yeah, that looks like my
This
brother.
one just happens to be animals, but like there's ones that are like geometric shapes, and then there's just ones that are a lot simpler too. I don't know why. I picked
Looks
these
like
complicated ones.
DMT,
They
dude.
suck.
Dude, that's a thick book, dude.
Yeah,
That's
show the
got
book.
It's got some heft to it.
Awesome,
animals. Oh, is that
Yeah.
a veiled? That's a veiled.
Adult
chameleon.
coloring book, volume 1.
Adult coloring book. Didn't know that was a
Actually
thing.
says adult coloring
It
book.
literally says it.
Dude,
All right, I just learned something.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I thought he was fucking with us. I thought
yo,
it
it's
was
beautiful,
porn or
bro. Do you
something.
have any of them hung up in your house anywhere? You
No.
got one on the. You got one on the fridge, dude.
No,
Yo, you gotta put one on the fridge, bro. Like tonight, you gotta put one on the fridge.
my wife hates shit on the fridge.
Oh, even
What
your
if you
adult
frame it and
coloring
put it
book?
on the wall?
I had the
Yeah, laminate it, dude.
Yeah, why
like
not?
2 years ago. My sister got me like a conspiracy theory thing you put on the fridge, and it's like one of those like like some people have like a whole bunch of words and you like put sentences on their fridge or whatever.
Oh yeah, like
This
I
one's
love
all
my
different
family and shit like that.
So it was like Elon and Hillary had a baby and it was a nuke or some shit like that. Or,
Oh my god. Sounds good.
there's not, I guess it'd be more fun if
Sucks
people
for
came to my
Elon.
house and fucked with it, but it was just me. It was just me
you,
walking by it
just
every
you
day.
constantly fucking with it.
Yeah, because I see other people's houses back in the day. Like when I'd go visit, I'd be drinking or something over there. I'd fuck with it.
Oh,
But
you
now-
always do
rearrange
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like
I love
like, I'm
cock
too
or
old- I'm
whatever
too
he
old.
wrote on somebody's. Yeah.
I love yeah.
It's not like someone's coming over here, you know. So it became a mess. And she was just like, "Can we take it down now? Can we take it down?" I have it somewhere.
Dude, it's funny that you instantly went to I Love Cock because it just reminds me of like I was watching or listening to a podcast about like the Roman Empire and like some things that they have found like through like archaeological digs, and I think there was I forget what it was exactly, but they found like some senator had pranked another senator with a dick joke basically, and they were making the case that like dick jokes are like timeless, that they'll never go away.
They've been around forever.
They've been
yeah.
around forever. Like dudes in togas were like making dick jokes and stuff like that.
I think it's a joke, sir. Like Silius Sonus or Biggest Dickus, sir. What's funny about Biggest Dickus? Well, it's a joke name, sir. I have a very great friend in Rome called Biggest Dickus.
I think somebody wrote "I love cock" on my face once. I passed out at a party or whatever.
Yeah, well, somebody did it on Gaius Falconius back in like 20 AD, also, dude. It was still funny back then, dude.
Why do you think they killed Caesar? He was fucking notorious.
Yeah, dude.
for that
Yeah,
shit.
Caesar was notorious for drawing penises on people, dude, and that's why he got killed, dude. That's exactly what it was.
That's what it
Dude,
is.
he kept using the permanent ink. Everyone was upset with him.
Yeah, dude, the charcoal, dude. He hit him with the charcoal, dude.
Been walking around with a cock on my face for a week now. Thanks, Caesar.
Fucking Caesar. Piece of shit.
All right.
right.
If you made it this far, thanks for listening. Like and share.
Yes, all that. All right.
Hey,
Take
Tristan,
it easy, guys.
Always a pleasure talking to you guys.
All right, man. I'll
All right,
text
see y'all
you
later. See ya.
Wipe yourself off, man. You dead.